I know you're gonna dig this.
Well, for the second for one, now they got the man trapped in third and taken out.
And 2nd and 2, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, wide open, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
What's up, everybody? It is November the 3rd, 2025. Hope you enjoyed your Halloween. Now look forward to Thanksgiving. Man, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. I need a break. Love my kids, but man, they got me running this year. But that's okay. That's all right. It is what it is. So welcome again to another sports show. We're waiting on a few people to come in. I think we got we got somebody on the line right now. We got Curry on the line. Curry, what's going on? How you doing today?
Doing good.
All right. Curry can hear me. That's good. That's a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good thing they can hear me. Let's get started. Yo, I want to congratulate my Los Angeles Dodgers, baby. Woo-wee. Man, let me tell you something. My heart can't take no more. I can't take no more of this, man. Look, I'd rather get blown out or blow them out than for this thing to go into extra innings like it did. But before I go into that, I gotta give my shout out to the Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays. And if anybody don't know, it was between Toronto and the Dodgers to get Shohei. And the thing about it is Shohei had, first off, it said that he went to Toronto. And then next thing I know, he goes to the Dodgers. So I don't know what happened that he changed his mind to Toronto, but that's how close it was really close for him to go to either or. Change. I think the only thing that probably pushed him over the top with the Dodgers because of the relationship that they have with Asian popularity in Los Angeles, in California, in Japan, and things of that nature. I think that had a lot to do with it. But again, I'm glad he came to the Dodgers. Toronto, man, I tell you what, to me, they were the better team. But the team that knew the pressure, that been there before, came through. They came. The Game 7, guys. There's so many plays that come to memory or come to mind. That you say, "Yo, if it weren't for that play, this game could win a whole different way." And if you think about it, you could use that scenario in every game 1 through Game 7, that you could have used that scenario. Now, the Dodgers went on the road and won the World Series, which was really impressive. And I think everybody thought by them winning Game 6 that it was a shoe-in for them to win Game 7. But I wasn't that sure myself. I didn't want Shohei to get on the mound at all. I wanted him to start out with Glasnow to start pitching, but he didn't do that. And the guys that do the show with me, they know how critical I am of Dave Roberts. I was never really a Dave Roberts fan. I've always wanted Dusty Baker, who's my favorite Dodger, to be that guy, be that manager for the Dodgers. That's who I wanted to be the manager for the Dodgers coming up. And just what happened when Dave Roberts became the manager, Dusty already had a job, right? So Dusty never got the opportunity to be the Dodgers manager. But I'm gonna say this, yo, Doc pushed all the right buttons game 7. Putting Paez in the back in the game for the defensive defense setup that he did, and that catch he made over Kiki. I don't think Kiki's gonna make that back, that Jackie Robinson thing. I don't think he's gonna make that, and that would probably be the end of the game, and we'd be having a different type of story right now. But I want to give shout out to Toronto, man. I'm telling you right now, those guys don't mind spending money, number one. And number two, they went from last to first. And they had, I think, the second best record in the major leagues behind the Milwaukee Brewers. So they're not going nowhere. They don't have a lot of free agents other than Bichette. I think he might be a free agent coming up. I don't know if they can afford him, but they got money to spend. And we'll talk about this later on down the line once we get to if we ever get to that point of talking about baseball. But I got Lou and I got Curry on the line. So Lou, I'm gonna let you go first on this one. What was your feeling in that game 7 when they went to extra innings? How would you? What was it? To me, it was one of the best World Series game 7s I've ever seen in my life. 1 through 7 was excellent.
The whole series was phenomenal. I mean, one of the best World Series I've seen in a long time. And I'll tell you what, I had to go to 7 games, but I didn't quite see how Game 6 was going to end on that play. I mean, because otherwise it might have been a whole different outcome. But the Dodgers fought back in Game 6 in that last inning, and then that Game 7 when Rojas came through, saving the Dodgers season. I mean, Toronto had in the bag. Well, unlikely source comes and throws that party. I mean, the Dodgers gave it everything because if they didn't win that Game 6, that would have been over. But they fought back, and they got the last laugh.
Okay. Curry, what's your thoughts?
I thought that was a great World. It was a great World Series overall. But that Game 7, that was if you didn't have a dog in the fight like me, then it didn't bother you that much. But if you were a Dodger fan or a Toronto Blue Jays fan, that thing had you on the edges and biting your nails and everything else. But I didn't have a dog in the fight per se, but I did pull for Toronto simply because of their general manager. He's was born in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is 30 minutes from where I live. And then he went to Wake Forest University and pitched for them, which is 10 minutes from where I live. So I was pulling for him, and I didn't have any other reason to pull for any one of the teams other than that. But great World Series.
Yeah, I'm telling you, y'all just the game that went to like 18 innings. I'm still up watching this game, right? I'm like, man, come on. I go to work the next day, and they said, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" I said, "I'm so tired." It's like, did you say watch? I said, I watched every inning of that baseball game. I said, I kept looking at my watch like, yo, can this be over so I can go to sleep? Man, when my alarm at 5:45 went off, I wanted to slam that phone somewhere and just go back to sleep. I should have took 2 hours off before I went to work, but man, I was so drained that day. And then and even though they played the next game, man, I woke up and saw the score and went back to sleep. I could not keep my eyes open as much as I wanted to. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But man, I'm telling you, they had me ventilating over here, biting fingernails, chewing gum. I was doing all kind of craziness. It was just exciting, man, to see the Dodgers win again. And I remember back in the 80s, I was over in Japan. I was stationed in Okinawa, and the Kirk Gibson home run. I missed the home run because I was on duty and had to drop some Marines off to certain places that had to stay on duty. So I missed the home run, right? Just think about the time frame we're talking. We're talking about the early 80s or mid 80s, I think it was. And so when I came back, the game was over, right? So I didn't know if they won or if they lost. So I had to watch the whole game over again to find out that Kirk Gibson hit a home run. That was the most stressful game ever in my life because I knew the game was over and there's no way I could find out if he won it to the next morning, and I was not gonna go to sleep until I found out who won that game. And that game 5 or 4, whatever it was kind of like the same way. It was mad crazy how it went down. I really feel sorry for Guerrero. That guy played his heart out. You know, he was the last one to leave the dugout. But that goes to show you, man, that even though it's a grown man sport, you still feel like a kid when you win, and you feel like a kid when you lose because you like, man, I don't know if I ever get to this point. I don't know if I ever get here again, you know. And I know Curry can relate to this because with Dan Marino going to Super Bowl, we just knew Dan Marino's gonna go to a few more Super Bowls. I would have locked it in that Dan Marino had at least 3 more Super Bowls in him. He never got a chance to go back to one. You know, and that feeling right there is probably one of the worst feelings in the world for Dan Marino, never to ever go back to another Super Bowl. And he had talent, and they should have been back to at least 2 or 3, but they never got a chance to go back. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a fan of sports, you understand. If you've been in that situation, you understand. But you know, there's some people that don't want to be in a clutch situation. They don't want to be the person to strike out, to pop up, or they don't want to be the person to hit the home run. They just can't. They don't have it in their blood to be that dude, right? And when you can be that guy, that feels so good that you help your team win. I remember in the Marine Corps, we was playing basketball, and I was coming off the bench. I was mad because the point guard we had in front of me wasn't as good as me. You know what I'm saying? He could probably shoot jumpers better than me, but as far as penetrating, dish off the ball, facilitate, making everybody included in the game, he wasn't that good as me. And the one game I got in, it was like 4 seconds left in the clock. Coach ran a play for me, which shocked me. I hit a bank shot and won it. And then after that, he starts me the rest of the season. I'm like, yo, you didn't have to go through. I didn't have to go through all this just to start. I should have been starting anyway. You know what I'm saying? But again, I felt that vibe where, you know, everybody's put on my shoulders and I came through in the clutch, you know. But again, Will Smith, gotta give it up to him. Rojas, gotta give up to him. I'm telling you right now. Yo, Doc, he has my respect, man. He has my respect from this point on. I would never question him again about the lineups that he does, because I really question everything he did in his 7-game series when it came down to pitching. And I did say something to a friend of mine about changing the batting order. I said, because it's not working. I don't like Showtime being I don't like him being first up the bat. He should be at least second or third, because now you ain't gonna walk the guys in front of him. You know what I'm saying? If you get on base, now you got pitch to him. But if he's the first person, you're gonna walk him, because now you know this is the guy they're counting on to get you that home run out of everybody else. So hopefully he does look at that going to the future and maybe change that lineup a little bit, you know. But again, I'm not questioning anything he did. Man, it was a great World Series. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yo, they had the parade today. Now, there was no way I was getting to LA today. I thought maybe they would wait maybe about 4 or 5 days for me to get the money up to get the plane flight out there. Because my thing was, I was just going to go out there, get a flight, go to the parade, get back on the plane and come home. That was my plan. But they did it today. I was like, oh, that's way, I don't know about that one. But the thing about it is, I want to talk to you guys about with baseball too. It was something else. So we want to congratulate Curry's Braves. They got a new manager. What's your thoughts on the new manager, Curry?
Kevin, I haven't heard that they, I've been kind of out of touch on the baseball. Who did they get?
Let me get my mouse together here. I didn't write his name down. I just said let's put down a new manager. Where we at here? Where's it at? Let me see if I can pull it up here and go to the Braves. Okay, Braves.
Oh, Walt Weiss.
Weiss is his name.
Walt Weiss. Yeah, he once played for the Braves, but he played for the Florida Marlins as well. But he also went to college at the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Okay, so you okay with that?
I guess, yeah. He should be okay. I mean,
but
he's been in coaching a while. He's just now finally getting his
due
opportunity.
So let me ask you, as a Braves fan, let me ask you a question. How much do you think it was the managerial not doing the job, or was it more or less guys staying healthy for the Braves? Because again,
I think a lot of it was him, but not calling. I mean, I didn't like the way his style of calling games and making the key decisions during in-game decisions, and I just thought that they won that World Series not because of him, but in spite of him. He just had the right team to win it, and he didn't lose a lot after that World Series, but it just never got back. So,
okay,
and I told you guys, unless he could get to 500, he would probably be gone anyway.
Right.
So that didn't surprise me.
Okay. And make sure you guys, all you baseball fans, go out to ESPN, look at the best fits for the top free agents right now. Just off the top of my head, like Cody Bellinger, he opted out with the Yankees. They're saying, excuse me, the best fit might be the Mets, but I heard something about him maybe going to the Dodgers. Kyle Schwarber is a free agent. They saying best fit might be the Mets. Ranger Suarez, left-handed pitcher. They saying Toronto might be a place for him. Cal Tucker, outfielder. This is shocking me. They saying best fit could be the Dodgers, possible San Francisco Giants. Let's see who else out here that you might know. Alex Bregman opted out. They're saying best fit could be Detroit, New York, or Philly. 3 teams. Pete Alonso, age 31. He's not old, but he got some tire. He got some tread on his tires. They're saying the Marlins and Washington. And that will probably be more or less money driven than anything else, because I don't think the Marlins or the Washington's Nationals are going to be better than Philly, Milwaukee, the Dodgers, all those top teams that made it to the playoffs. Then they have Bo Bichette. Best fit would be the Giants, maybe Kansas City. For some reason, nobody wants to go to the Giants. I don't know why. Something in the water ain't right there in San Francisco. Let me see who else we got out here. Who other names we might? That's pretty much the names we got right now. And I pulled up a thing that says for odds-on favorite to go to World Series again next year in 2026 is the Dodgers and the Yankees. And every year it's been the Dodgers and the Yankees, but the Dodgers been going, but the Yankees ain't been going. So I don't know about that one. I really don't know. I don't know if that's the case. But I think Toronto's gonna be there. I think Seattle's gonna make a lot of noise too. At the top 5 teams, they got Dodgers, Toronto, Seattle, Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Brewers, Cincinnati at number 8. Number 9, Philly, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals. That's interesting. 12 is the Mets. 13th are the Rays. Wow. 14th is the Braves. 15th is the Padres. So those are the top 15 teams they're saying going into next season should be there for the playoff run. So again, I mean, believe it or not, the winter meeting's coming up soon. So we'll see where everybody ends up going. But this is what I want to bring up though. It says right here, it says 2024 revenue, 2025 payout, tax payroll, luxury tax payroll revenue. The New York Mets revenue was $444 million. The payout was $40 million. So they made up $41 million. Tax payroll was $328 million. Luxury tax was $71 million. That's 90% of the payroll. Didn't make the playoffs. The Dodgers were second. They have $72 million revenue, $549 million payroll, tax $399, luxury tax is $150. The tax payroll revenue was $73. Then you have Toronto, Philly, Arizona. I'm surprised at Padres, Texas, Los Angeles Angels, Kansas City, Baltimore, Yankees. Yankees are number 11, right? And Curry, the Atlanta Braves are 17. But at the bottom, you have Miami, Chicago, Tampa, Pittsburgh, Chicago Cubs, who made the playoffs, right? If I'm not mistaken. Cleveland that didn't get in. You have Milwaukee at the bottom with the best record. You got Boston at the bottom who made the playoffs. So again, and out of the luxury tax, there's only a couple of teams that's paying luxury tax. You got the Mets, the Dodgers, Toronto, Philly, San Diego Padres, the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox. Other than that, nobody else is paying the luxury tax. So I'm saying that to say this is that you can't get mad at the Dodgers for doing what they've done because it's paying off for them.
Well, you can, and that's what's going to lead into what I was going to say.
Go ahead, Curry.
Okay, you asked for a topic, and my topic, you wanted everybody to bring a topic. That was going to be my topic.
Okay.
Baseball needs a salary cap. And you got teams that start the season that know good and well they don't have a chance to even make the playoffs, let alone the World Series. Because these big market teams like the Dodgers, they are going out there spending ungodly amounts of money. And these small market teams can't keep up with that. So they're just out there just spinning their wheels. And all they're doing is basically becoming although they're a major league team, they're basically a minor league team for the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees and teams like that goes out and just throw the checkbooks out there and just spend ungodly amounts of money because these small market teams just can't keep up with it. And I just think baseball needs a salary cap so that some of these other teams can become competitive like they did in football. Look what salary cap, how that helped football because teams are a lot more competitive. Other than before it was just Dallas Cowboys and a few other teams just spending all the money, and they could just go out there and win 5 championships in a matter of 15 years or whatever. But since the salary cap came in, look what it's done to the Cowboys. They ain't been in the playoffs since when? I mean, they ain't been in a NFC championship since when? You know?
But I don't think
Jerry Jones was born.
But I don't think the salary cap has anything to do with the Dallas Cowboys not winning. I just think it's just they don't want to deal with Jerry Jones. But now I'm gonna play devil advocate to what you just said, right? So Miami's revenue for 2024 was $317 million. Payroll was $86 million. Payroll tax, it was $86 million. No luxury tax, 27% payroll revenue. Chicago White Sox. Now, I'm gonna say this about Chicago. I think that unless unless maybe there's some things that need to change. Like you need to get somebody in that's going to be aggressive about winning. And then the thing about it is what do your fans expect from your team? If they selling out in Chicago, I'm just saying, I don't know if they are or aren't. I don't know what the attendance is there. So that means they expect to win, right? And Chicago White Sox they just as bad as the Cleveland Browns. Let's be honest. In baseball as in football, right?
Well, their attendance is not up by no means. They have the lowest attendance rate.
But now this is I think one of the problems. I think the weather, because of where the season started, I think the weather has something to do with Chicago. If they were to get an attractable dome, I think that would bring people out early part of the season. Because when you go to a stadium, if you're a player, you go to a stadium and it's half full, what motivation do you have to play? You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the backing,
it should be because you're going out there getting paid every day.
Well,
that job, that should be motivation enough. Whether there's 18 fans in the stands or 18,000 fans in the stands, it shouldn't matter. It should not have an effect on you. I can see where it would even make you play even harder, knowing that you got a team behind you. To your point, but you look at across town, the Chicago Cubs, they don't have a problem with attendance. They're in the same weather that the White Sox is in. So, but the problem is, the Cubs, the fans have supported the Cubs when they couldn't win 80 games. And so they're so used to supporting the Cubs. It's not always been like that with the White Sox. White Sox, you can't expect one city to support two big baseball teams and both of them be competitive at the same time.
Well, I mean, you look at the Mets and the Yankees. I mean, it's tomato. But like you saying, it's like Chicago Cubs, right? Chicago Cubs made the playoffs. They had a payroll of 500. They had a payroll of 584 million. Payout a payroll tax of 25. A payroll 25 payroll tax. 213 million, right? A tax payroll of 213 million, no luxury tax. And they had 36.4% of their payroll revenue. And they have what's his name on the team, right? He went to Soto, right? Didn't he go to the Cubs? So again, I think a lot of it has to do with the fan base, in my opinion. And I'm gonna say this: I know that they want to bring in expansion teams. And I'm gonna say this: some Chicago fans might get mad at me, but Chicago shouldn't have two teams if they're not gonna support. If you got a team that's only won 60 games, an average of 60 games a year, which is the White Sox, then maybe they should get moved. Because if you can't support two teams, then maybe the city shouldn't have two teams, right? Move them on out of there. Don't just move them to another city. Don't add another franchise. Just move them.
Where would you go?
Well, they're looking. San Antonio has been thought. San Antonio's name's been brought up. Believe it or not, Utah, Salt Lake City's name has been brought up, and
not a surprise.
And I'm not. I think it was Phoenix. Might have been Phoenix. I can't remember if it was Phoenix. It might have been Phoenix. I'm not for sure. But I know Utah. I know Manfred want Utah for some reason to have a baseball team. I have no clue why Utah, but he's talking about Utah, right? So that team could be moved. If you look at in the National League, Colorado Rockies should be moved, right? They won 43 games last year. That's a team that comes like you said, team that know they have no chance of winning anything. But you look at Colorado, they're 18th with a revenue, 2024 revenue of 318 million, 2025 payroll tax of 142 million, tax payroll 142, no luxury tax, and they have 44.7% of payroll revenue. So they're almost at 50%. So they need to spend some money. They need to spend some money, right? But I get your point. I totally get your point when it comes to them having a salary cap, which I don't think they're going to do. I really don't think, because if you look at
here's why the Colorado Rockies should not have to move. If you look at the Colorado Rockies, their wins versus losses is terrible, and they're just a bad team. But you can't blame the fans, because the fan support is there.
Oh, definitely.
Colorado Rockies in 2025 averaged 30,000 fans per game.
But now
that's with a losing team. Could you imagine what they could do if they was a winning team?
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question.
The Miami Marlins, who average 11,000 fans per game, they can't even give the tickets away. When I went to the game in Miami to see the Marlins and the who was that team that they played? The Mets. They gave me those tickets for free. So you got to give tickets away to get people into the stadium. That counts as attendance.
Right.
But I ain't paid nothing to get in there.
But let me ask you this question.
But the Rockies, I don't think they're going anywhere, because if you can average 30,000 fans and you don't have a good team, just think what you'll be if you had a good team. But that's why I say a salary cap would help teams like the Rockies.
So let me ask you this question. In Colorado, what else is to do from April to September?
It don't matter. It don't mean you got to go to a baseball game.
No. What I'm saying to you, what else is it to do in Colorado?
I see what you're saying, but that don't mean I got to go to a baseball game. There's other things I can do besides go to a baseball game.
That's
I go bowling.
But
I play golf.
That's my whole point, though.
Swimming.
Well, my point is right here. If you're a fan of sports, you ain't got nothing else to do in Colorado. Depending on now I don't know what city they're in. What city is the Rockies in? I don't know what city. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what city.
Denver Boulder.
Let's see here.
I don't know. I know they own Blake Street.
And that's a shame. I don't know where the Rockies play at. That's terrible. It's not Denver, because if they was in Denver, they would probably it would be called the Denver Rockies, not Colorado.
Not necessarily. I think it'll be like the state, Colorado.
Let me see here. Let me see if I can find out where they.
Remember, Florida Miami Marlins was Florida Marlins.
Where can I find?
Mets, they're New York Mets. The Yankees are New York Yankees.
I ain't got no more. Oh, here we go.
Angels used to be California Angels. I think he's right. I think they do play in Denver.
They're in Denver, Colorado, which is crazy. All right. So they're in Denver. All right. They're in Denver. But again, I think the problem is that there's nothing to do in Denver, so that's why they go to the game. And I'm gonna give you a problem like the Miami Marlins. You're saying that they gotta give tickets away from Miami, right? So from April to September in Miami, what they doing? They at the beach, South Beach, North Beach. They're out hanging out. If the team's not winning, they're not gonna hang out. They're not gonna support them. But I'm gonna say this about Tampa and the Miami Marlins. You have a lot of people that move down there that's not originally from Miami, and they like teams from the like you got people from the north move down to the south in the summertime, right? And they stay down there till the weather get hot, then they go back up north. So I think you have that issue as well, because you don't have fans that genuinely are your team fans because they grew up there. And that kind of, I think that hurts a lot when you have teams that you put together, new franchise, you move them to a state like that. I think they would have been better off moving like you take for example Montreal. They moved Montreal to Washington. So if you're a Montreal fan, you kind of follow them a little bit. Are you a big fan of them? You're probably not. You know what I'm saying? But that's where they came from, where the Marlins and the Marlins and the Rockies and the Rays, they were expansion teams. So there really was never no history for them being where they're at. But again, during the summertime, they really, if they're not winning, nobody's going to support them. I mean, you take the Miami Heat. You don't see nobody sitting in them seats until almost the end of the second quarter, maybe the third quarter, because they got so much to do in Miami that the team's not winning. They're not going to support them, right? So I think that has a lot to do with attendance as well when it comes to certain teams, right? And I agree with you. The Marlins. I mean, the Rockies have played good baseball. They've been in the World Series before, so it's not like they don't know where not like they're not familiar with the World Series. But again, I'm just thinking that he wants to have expansion teams come in the league, and look at the expansion teams that we have right now. That we have Tampa Bay Rays have been good for a while. Washington has been good. They won a title, right? Then you have the Colorado Rockies, and you got the Arizona Diamondbacks. Both have been to the World Series. One has won a World Series, one haven't. But they didn't sustain what they had. Because if you think about it, Curry, when these teams won the World Series, they sold everybody off. For some reason, back in the day, that's what you did. You got the guys that won the World Series, you trade them, and you bring in new blood. I never could understand that. You know what I'm saying? I could never understand why you did that. What possessed them? Why that was a thing in the past, but that's not the thing in the future going on right now. So one thing I'm saying is he doesn't need to add more teams. If you want to do something, then you move the teams that you feel like. And for some reason, Salt Lake City stays in my mind with him wanting to be there. And I think it was Utah. I think it was San Antonio that he was really betting on. Talking about winter meeting about expanding the baseball. He wants to expand the baseball league before he leaves. I don't know. To me, I don't know if it's a good idea to expand it or just move some teams around. Because again, they may be going into a different realm where we were talking about them changing the whole league around, where you have National League teams and American League teams in the same division again because of travel, because how that's gonna save money in traveling, where you got Toronto, Yankees, Red Sox, right, and Detroit, Minnesota. You got all those guys that could be playing together, and the travel is not that expensive. You look at the Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, Diamondbacks, Colorado. Only way they got to fly really far is Colorado. That's not that far. But there's nobody else that you could probably put in that league other than you could have Los Angeles, you could have the Athletics, the Angels, the Dodgers, the Padres, or whoever you could have in the division, because they were talking about doing that as well. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if that'll change things or not, but I think the direction that the baseball is going in is a good direction, because again, nobody won 100 games this year, right? The only team that walked away from the division, in all actuality, was the Philadelphia Phillies. They beat them. They was ahead of the Mets by 13 games. Milwaukee Brewers, who have been up and down all year, beat the Cubs by 5. The Dodgers beat the Padres by 3. Astros lost to Seattle by 3. The Tigers lost to Guardians by 1. Toronto and the Yankees end up being tied at the end of the season. So this is the baseball that we wanted to see, and this is the baseball that we got. We got a great playoffs. We got a great World Series. But now, guys, just remember, as we end this segment of the show, that baseball is going to the robot for strike zone next year. So it's not like you're gonna have different. So I don't know how they're gonna do this. I've been trying to read up on it to find out if they go to a robot where the robot makes the decision. If you think it's a ball and they call it a strike, the robot corrects it. I don't know how that works. And trust me, I'll have that. I'm write that down right now. Robot MLB. So I'll have an answer for everybody next show on how that's going to work. You guys got anything else for baseball before we move on? Okay. I was hoping to have Mo and Rich on the show tonight. I thought they could make it. Dana hasn't, ladies and gentlemen, Dana hasn't been on the show because his father's in the hospital again. So make sure you're praying for Dana and his family to make sure that dad's doing well. This is why he's not been on the show. It's not that he doesn't want to be on the show. It's that here in the Zone Sports, we talk about family before we talk about anything else. Family comes first, and you got to take care of family. Bottom line, that's it. No ifs and buts about it. So keep him in prayer as we go along. NFL, or do we want to do college next? We got. Let's do college.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate my man, Mr. Sean Lee, cornerback freshman for the Pittsburgh Panthers. First pick 6 of his career. Freshman from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Pick 6 Saturday against Stanford. Young man doing his thing. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. I love it. So let me give you a little background on this young man. Okay. So not last season. Was it last season? Yeah, it was last season. There was an issue with him if he had another year left to play high school football. And it was brought to attention to the PIAA about it. Our district voted for him not to play. PIAA voted for him not to play. But in all actuality, the young man only played 4 years of football. If I'm not mistaken, somebody can correct me. He was on another school's roster, but he never played. But he didn't get a chance to play his senior year per se, right? By the rule book. From what by the rules, they're saying he played 5 years, but he only played 4 actually for Harrisburg. So, excuse me, he only played 3 for Harrisburg. Okay. So this is the situation. The year that he should have been the quarterback, we were loaded at every position. The only thing we had in our sights was going to the state finals and probably winning. This is probably the closest team that we would have got to playing St. Joseph Prep, which is a powerhouse team. They put a couple guys in pros. You have the wide receiver for Arizona in the pros. You got Trotter's son, he's in the pros. You have Porter Jr., who's a corner for Pittsburgh in the pros. You have several other guys in the pros. The tight end for the Falcons is in the pros, right, from this team. So they pretty much go out and recruit anybody. The last year that we played them in the state finals, the quarterback lived in New Jersey, but he played football in Pennsylvania. Now, make that make sense, right? But anyway, they lost to LaSalle over the weekend. So they're out of the playoffs. So that gives everybody a little breathing room because LaSalle's pretty good too. But I think LaSalle does a little recruiting as well, but it's not as much as St. Joseph Prep, I believe. But anyway, he didn't get a chance to play his senior year, which would have gave us a really good opportunity to go to the state finals. We end up losing to the semifinals. It was like 4th and 2. We threw the ball and it got knocked down. We lose by like 3 or 4 points. And so we didn't get to the state finals last year, which we should have went to. This year, we should have a good chance to go to state finals if we can get our stuff together, if the chemistry can be they get the chemistry right. Through this run, we should be in the state finals again, hopefully. And whoever we play, we play. But anyway, Sean Lee he was a quarterback for our team that didn't get opportunity to play. It was not. I'm gonna tell you how much it hurt me. I started crying when I read it, right? And I texted his dad. And I said to his dad, I said, "Yo, I'm literally over here bawling over your son not being able to play football because they made it that the people to be made it personal, and you took a whole year from this young man to play football, to make memories, and things of that nature. And so I wish him the best of luck, whatever he does at Pitt. He just got to stay healthy and we'll be all right. He could be a draft pick. He could be a high draft pick if you keep doing what you're doing. But he came there as a freshman, didn't know if he's going to start, if he's going to get to play in time. The one corner got hurt. He stepped in. And he's been doing well ever since then. He's in a Pitt plays. They play Notre Dame this weekend, Curry. So I'm kind of like I'm on the fence again. I'm on this fence again because I think that if we were to look at the rankings right now, and Pitt's not even in Pitt should be in the top 25 right now. They should be in the top 25. They do have 2 losses, but they should be in the top 25. I don't even know if they were mentioned. Okay, so it says other teams receiving votes was Iowa 71, James Madison 53, Pitt 35, San Diego State 30, North Texas 27, Southern Florida 23, SMU 7, Houston 6, Illinois 4, LSU 4, Arizona State 4. So only team that dropping from the rankings with Houston at 22. So they're no longer in the running. Miami man, look here. Whew. That was a heartbreaker right there. That was a heartbreaker right there. That's a heartbreaker right there with Miami. I was pulling for him because I like Dana, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like my junior college team, in a sense. But when I saw the score, I knew it was over with then. This weekend was probably the first weekend that I did not watch any college football. I went out and Saturday my wife went to a baby shower in Philadelphia, better known as Baltimore. She thought she was going to, but it was all good. So I went out and splurged on myself a little bit. I got some things to wear and did a little Christmas shopping, little birthday shopping. But I had no worries this weekend, none whatsoever. Football wasn't on my mind until later on that night. So Curry, we got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, and Virginia. Kenny's team, Virginia at 12. Wow, look at that, look at that. Look at that, look at that. How Curry, how shocked are you at Texas A&M being 8-0?
Not shocked one bit because they've had a good team for the last few years. They got a shot. They have literally got a shot. Those top 3 teams, Ohio State, Indiana, and Texas A&M, I think one of those 3 teams is going to win that championship. But I want to go back to something you said earlier. You said Notre Dame was playing Pitt?
Yeah.
I got them playing Navy.
Well, I think Pitt might have a bye this week. That's what I'm thinking. I think that might be
okay because Notre Dame plays Navy.
Let me see here, standings. They sent Pitt in the ACC, right?
Yeah, they're playing Navy at.
Yeah, we played. Pitt has a bye. They don't play again to the 15th, so they have a bye before that Notre Dame game. So Pitt has Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami. All three are ranked at the end of the season. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough for Pitt to take care of that, take care of business there. But I'm just hopefully something will give before the Pitt and Notre Dame plays each other. But Texas A&M, they doing their thing, man. They doing their thing. Ole Miss is still in there, right? BYU is the only team that's undefeated that's not in the top 5, right? You got Memphis, Georgia Tech, or 8, and Virginia are all 8-1, and you got Virginia at number 12. Nobody saw Virginia being this good this year. Only person probably saw them being this good might have been Kenny. Say that again, bro. Say that again.
I mean, Indiana and Vanderbilt. I mean, nobody expected them to be this good.
Well, Indiana was ranked. They was already. The Indiana was ranked already.
I know, but considering they've never been a powerhouse in NCAA football, because that's one of the basketball schools. I mean, I'm kind of surprised at this. And Vandy, which has been a joke for decades, has all of a sudden just come on fire this year. So that's on this year.
But that just goes to show you the NIL deal. How the NIL can change your objective of who you are and how good you can be. You take the quarterback Fernando Mendoza, right? He was born in Miami. Why didn't he go? He's 6'5", 225. Why is he not playing for Miami? There gotta be a reason why. There was something they thought that he couldn't do. And that's why they didn't go after him, which is crazy because he's playing good football. But prior to that, though, he was at Cal. So he's at Cal 2023, 2024, and he came to IU in 2025. So if you think about this, guys, and keep this in mind, this is going to reflect on, to me, one of the quarterbacks. This is the quarterback that I picked to have the best sophomore season in the NFL was Bo Nix. Look how long Bo Nix stayed in college, almost 5 years, I think it was. And he jumped around.
He did play 5 years.
He went from Oregon to Auburn to somewhere else and to somewhere else, but he got the experience.
He got that COVID stitches.
Yeah, so he got the experience, and I think that's why he's equipped to play in the NFL, right? Because that's the guy. When we was picking who could have the best sophomore season, I thought it could be Bo Nix, but I'm looking right now. It may be Drake May. He may have the best sophomore season for real. But I think when you got guys like this that transfer and you bring them into a program, and maybe that's the only piece that you really needed. And if you think about it, I mean, look, the only game they had close, let's be honest, was Iowa 20-15. Everybody else they blew out. They beat Oregon, Michigan State, UCLA, beat Maryland. Now they got Penn State. They should win that game handily. There shouldn't be no issues about that. They got Wisconsin and Purdue, so they could go undefeated. Now, this is the problem, though. If, let's say, they lose in a championship game, guys, where should they still get that bye in the playoffs? Because that'll give them one loss. Let's say they lose Ohio State. Ohio State loses to them. That gives each one of them loss. Should they get a bye?
No.
Okay. So you don't think they should get a bye? So
no, I think you gotta be
okay. All right. Curry, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think they should get a bye?
They've earned it. Yeah, they should get a bye. They've earned it.
Okay. I'm saying if they lose in the Big Ten championship game, do you think they still should get a bye?
But they lose in I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Okay. So you think they should be in the playoffs? They shouldn't get a bye because it's gonna be four. There's gonna be 4 teams to get a bye, right? The top 4 teams gets a bye. So right now it'd be Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama. Now, the weird part about it is that Alabama is 7-1, right? They're in Georgia is 5 at 7-1. So you got those 2 teams with one loss to each other. I mean, one loss. They got one loss each team. Georgia just squeaked by this weekend. Alabama, and I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw the video that I posted on the page. And Curry, we wanted to talk about it, but now there's no need to talk about it. Was how we let the guy from South Carolina allow the guy from Alabama to score. He ran right past him, and then when he got to the end zone, he put his hands up. So I'm thinking to myself, why would he do that? In the game,
That's the only shot he had.
but Curry said that they wanted Alabama to win. They wanted Alabama to score touchdowns so South Carolina get the ball back, which makes a lot of sense. So that's why we're not. That's why we're not.
Yeah, because if he hadn't scored, if he'd have stopped short of the goal line, they could have ran the clock out either way, kick the field goal. But he did the right thing to score.
Right.
So that would have made them have to go the whole length of the field. But yeah, that guy that was pointing out that stuff, talking about games for rigged and all that stuff, he didn't watch the game.
Exactly.
Because if he'd watched the game, he'd have known that South Carolina wanted them. They had to let them score. So there's only like 40 seconds left, and South Carolina had no timeouts. So all Alabama was going to do, they're already in field goal range.
Yeah, they're going to run the clock down.
The clock run down
and kick a field.
The last second field goal and game over.
Alabama.
So you let them score, you got a shot.
Exactly. Alabama has LSU, Oklahoma's number 11, Eastern Illinois, and Auburn left. They shouldn't lose another. They should not lose another game. Alabama should not lose another game. Right. So I don't know if you guys know this.
I disagree.
Who you think? Who you think?
Really?
Who you thinking now? Because I'm gonna start listening to you because every time you bring something up,
I honestly think that they could. It's not likely, but I think they could lose that Iron Bowl
to Auburn.
And I also think, yeah, because when Auburn and Alabama played, man, that's a dogfight usually.
Yeah.
And but it's not likely, and that coach don't have a whole lot of experience coaching in that Iron Bowl, but that SEC championship game could be lost for them.
Okay, yeah, because they would probably end up playing Texas A&M in that bowl. So so Curry said they got to watch out for Auburn because that could be the game they lose. If they would lose to Auburn, that gives them 2 losses. They possibly could be. Wait, let me look at something real quick. So you got.
If they lose to Auburn, they're out of it.
If they lose Auburn, then you have Georgia. Georgia has Texas A&M. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna beat Texas at 13. That's gonna be. They got Mississippi coming up because they struggle against Florida. Right, so they got Georgia, got Mississippi, Texas 13, Charlotte, and then they got Georgia Tech at 16. Georgia Tech playing really good football right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm to let y'all know that. So
yeah, they just got beat though.
Yeah, and they if they can't get in, they'll probably could get in the playoffs, but they can't get into the top. They can't get into the top 4 right now.
Right.
Because Georgia Tech has moved down. They're at 16. So they're going to need some help to get to 12. So the thing about it is that you're going to have.
I think it's going to be some more shuffling going on.
Oh, definitely.
Before it's all said and done.
The Ohio State and Indiana got the easiest path right now of being 1 and 2 for some fact they don't play each other until the Big Ten championship. Ohio State has Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and at Michigan. So that road shouldn't be that hard for Indiana. I mean, for Ohio State, for a team to lose 11 guys to the pros, they still are doing what they're doing. All right. And you got Indiana. Let's see what Indiana's schedule look like. Indiana's schedule look like this: Penn State, Wisconsin, and at Purdue. That should be all winnable games for them as well. So next time they play, they'll see each other in the Big Ten championship game. But Kerry, I don't know if you noticed, or even Lou, next year won't be no section. It won't be no conference championship games no more. Do you guys want to know why?
What?
Do you guys want to know why?
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why is because East Conference wants to get as many teams in that top 4 as possible. So let's think about it right now. If the season would end right now, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, all top 4, they get it by. Georgia had to play. Georgia in the playoff. Georgia would have to play somebody. Oregon, you have Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, and Virginia all will have to play somebody, right? So there's a possibility that you could see a Big Ten championship game, or you could see a SEC championship game. I don't think BYU is better than any of the top 5 teams right now. I don't think Virginia is better than anybody. Notre Dame is, I'm telling you right now, Notre Dame and Texas Tech, they kind of scare me because I think them guys can make some noise by beating some teams that they ain't supposed to beat. But can you imagine this next year? And I don't know, I know the Big Ten is going away from the championship game. SEC is going away from the championship game. I don't know if anybody else is going away from the championship game, but I think that's a possibility for everybody else to do the same thing, because what happens is now we're talking about money here. So again, you look at this: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama, 4 teams. Big Ten, SEC. Whatever the record is the record is. They'll have no more championship games. And I guess now the question could be, and it might be brought up, if a team ends in a tie record, how do you decide on who gets the highest seed? Again, Curry, I'm gonna go back to this. Strength of schedule is gonna matter, because I'm telling you right now, the analysts are talking about Notre Dame being 6-2 in their schedule. Should Notre Dame be at 10? Should they be at 10, or should they be further down? Because the strength of schedule is not as strong as everybody else's. And the more teams that win, like Oklahoma, Virginia, Texas, should they be excluded out like they did Florida State that one year? Should they be excluded out of making the playoffs, and they have two losses? Is the question mark. This is where, again, I think the strength of schedule becomes a question on how do we go forward. The committee better have the answers to this, because I'm telling you right now, if it comes down to strength of schedule, there's going to be some teams not going to be in it. Some teams they're not going to be in. And even if they end up like it is right now, Texas A&M should get the number 3 seed. Indiana get the 2, Ohio State get the 1, Alabama get the 4. Now Alabama's going to fight and say, well, even though we got 1 loss, our schedule is probably tougher than Texas A&M. Texas A&M said we're undefeated. So what you're saying? What are you saying? But then again, if you go back to the strength of schedule, and like I said before, I think that if college football want to make this thing legit, make it fun, exciting going forward next year, the top 4 teams have to play each other at some point in time during the season. Even though it's not the same players, but it's the hype, because Ohio State is going to be ranked again. Indiana probably won't be ranked, even though they're keeping their coach. Texas A&M might not be ranked, but we know Alabama, Georgia, Oregon might be ranked, say in the top 10. So only way you could probably say, well, we don't want to play them if we're not ranked in the top 10, or we're not ranked in the top 5. We're not gonna play them because we can't afford that loss. Because if you're in the top 5 and you have a loss, you can still get into the playoffs. You just can't lose no more. So this is going to be really.
Well, I'm reading something different from what you told us.
Go ahead.
It says that the college football conference championships are not going away entirely, but their importance is shifting significantly due to the changes in college football playoffs starting in 2025-2026 season. The college football playoffs will no longer guarantee the first round buys to the conference champions. So with the buys not now going to the top 4 ranked teams, regardless of conference, this change means conference championship games will likely remain as a revenue driver, but it will not guarantee you a top spot and a bye.
See, now I read something the other day that said they were talking about getting rid of it because they want to keep they want to keep the teams that's atop. But
that makes sense not to do away with it because that's some big money drivers right there.
It is. But now if you're looking at it from a conference, if you're looking from the conference eyes above, you're like, yo, we got two teams at 1 and 2. Do we really want to play each other? Because if one of them loses, they could be 3 or 4, or they could be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Then that changes the schemes.
That's the cards you got to play them.
Exactly, and that changes the scheme on the money part of it, because at the end of the day, the Big Ten is sticking the chest out because you got you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 teams in the top 10, and that's it. You don't even have no teams. You have no teams in the top 15. You don't have any team. Well, you got USC at 20, Michigan at 21. Washington Washington's not in the Big Ten. They're still somewhere else. So you got 3 teams in the top 25, but you have no team from 6 on down in the top 10. I mean, in the top 25 from the Big Ten. So the opportunities of the Big Ten winning, only way they could definitely know they're going to win is you have Ohio State play Indiana. I'm predicting that that's who's going to be in the national championship game, Ohio State, Indiana. I'm picking them 2 teams to go. I think they have Indiana and Ohio State. I think Indiana has what it takes. I watched them this weekend, man. Them guys are, they're good. They're really good. They're real good.
I tell you that I feel like I'm not gonna count Texas A&M out. I tell you this, and Indiana, I won't count them out either. But Texas A&M, they were doing really good when they had Jimbo Fisher as coach, and then Mike Elko has now came in there and took over, and he's on it. He does made the program even better.
Exactly.
He had a good team. He had a good thing going when he was at Duke. And then when he switched over there and took that job, man, he got them rolling even better than Jimbo Fisher had it.
Exactly. That I'm telling you that NIL is definitely putting some pressure on some teams to do well. I'm trying to find the article.
And listen, and while you mentioned that NIL, that's what's hurting Clemson right now. Clemson refused to hit the transfer portal like Miami. Miami hit the transfer portal hard, man. They hit it hard. But Dabo Swinney, he decides he wants to just stick with recruits, and I'd rather have guys that's going to stay with me and all this instead of getting money. Well, if you don't want to pay up, you can't keep up.
Exactly. So speaking of still on the college football front here, LSU, Lane Kiffin is the head front runner for the Mississippi job. Then they have Dan Langley from Oregon, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator for Buffalo. His name keep popping. Jeff Brom, Louisville head coach. He used to be a quarterback for Louisville. He spent a short time in the pros. His name has been brought up for Penn State as well. Rhett Lashley, SMU head coach. Eli Drinkowitz, Missouri. Will Fritz, Houston. Dabo Swinney, Clemson. Wow. Curry, could you see him leaving Clemson to go to LSU?
I can see that. Yes, I can see that. I can
Okay.
see him leaving because I tell you what, if he stays there another year and he keeps having the type of games that seasons like he's had the last couple of years, he may not be leaving on his own. So he might be better suited to go ahead and get on up out of there now while he's got some value in his coaching.
Okay. Kenny Dillingham, Arizona head coach. Lincoln Riley's name. I'm surprised we're not hearing more about Lincoln Riley being LSU or maybe even going to Penn State. The Penn State needs a quarterback that can run and can throw, that can option, that can do pretty much it, can kick field goals, punt the ball, returns, be the kickoff returner, punt returner, do it all. They need somebody like him that can do it all, right? But I'm surprised Lincoln Riley's name has not been brought up more than anybody else. John Summerall, Tulane head coach. Doug Newsomer, New Orleans Saints offensive coordinator. I even heard that the head coach for the Saints name could come up for LSU as well. So these are the names that's coming up for LSU. We know their pockets are super, super deep. So don't be surprised on who you see, who could be the next head coach for that team as well. I'm trying to find Penn State's information here. I had it up here. Where did it go? Okay, betting. Get rid of that. So I know Jeff Brom's name was one of the names for Penn State. And the offensive coordinator, I think, or the offensive line coach for Ohio State may be coming. He could be next Penn State hire. I told y'all who I want. Notre Dame's head coach, the 49ers defensive head coach. I did throw somebody else out there, didn't I? I can't remember who it was. Well, those are two names that will make me come back and get off the fence. Anybody else name come back, I'm gonna be on the fence with them. I'm gonna watch them from a long scope. I'm not gonna be right there. Oh, we got Rich on the line. Hey, Rich, how you doing?
What's going on, y'all? My bad.
I'm
a little late with that.
Oh, good, Rich.
So
good job, man.
So that's what's going on in college football. They said James Franklin is shooing to Virginia Tech. So guys, let me ask y'all a question. If you James Franklin, do you take that job right now and defer that money, that buyout money? Because if he gets another coaching job, then they don't have to pay him all that money. Am I not correct on that, Rich?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
If he doesn't take the job, then he gets his $50 million, but he's probably gonna take the job. Like, I wouldn't leave Penn State on the hook for that 50 if I'm not there.
Well,
if I'm doing something else,
it depends on his feeling towards Penn State.
Plus
right
he's
now.
Black, he gotta have a job.
It depends on how he feels about Penn State at this point in time. He's probably not happy. He's actually suing them anyway, for lack of something. I forgot what it was, because he said he superseded all the expectations they wanted him to succeed. But how do you feel like you okay with that? You can't be the top 10 team, but you saying you exceeded all the expectations. You treat a bowl game like it's just a bowl game because you tell some of your seniors you ain't got to play, get ready for the pros. But you still got fans that go to the bowl game that want y'all to win. But come on, man. I'm not saying him in general does this, but some coaches do that. But again, I'm trying to figure out what he super exceeded. He can't be Ohio State. He can't be Michigan. You one call away from going to the national championship instead of telling the quarterback throw the ball away or just let's go into overtime. He throws a pick. He throws an interception, and we end up losing the game. heartbreaker. That's been you've been breaking my heart ever since you got there, Franklin. And I like Franklin. I met Franklin. I think he's a nice guy. That he said that Penn State was his dream job. You know what I'm saying? They gave him everything. They said they gave him everything he asked for up at Penn State. He still couldn't come through. And as a result of that, there were 3-5 now, 3-6 with no bowl eligibility at all because they're gonna lose to Indiana, so they won't even get to a bowl. But I guarantee you, somebody might invite them to a bowl just because they know that the fans travel. Fans ain't gonna go see no 3-17 play. Come on, man. You gotta be at least if you win 5 games, there's a possibility. You could look back and say, well, if that play when it happened, we might have won 6 games. Yeah, let's go watch them play. No, that's not gonna happen. Just sit back and relax and get ready for whoever come next. So again, LSU is hot right there. And then you gotta think about if Lane Kiffin leaves Mississippi, who can go to Mississippi? Who's gonna be the next coach in Mississippi? Again, I and what I'm hearing that coaches now don't want to do the recruiting part of it, especially if you came from the pros as a coach. They're really not looking. James Franklin is favored to get the Virginia Tech job. They're not really want to do the recruiting part of it. And I'm gonna say this when it comes to college football. I have a recruiter to go out and recruit a player A. And I'll be like, player A, we want you come to team A, right? This is the NIL money we can give you. We can do this, help you with your family situation, and so you have nothing to worry about but playing football and getting education. And if you're teeter-tottering, okay, now I'm bringing my head coach in. I'm bringing my head coach in to solidify you going to my college. If you got recruiters like that, I'm okay with that, right? Because we're not getting coaches no more that's going out and doing all the recruiting. You got recruiters doing the recruiting. And so if I need for Coach B to come to my house, if I say to you, I need a head coach come in and talk to me. I need him to come in and say, look, we got a place for you on this team. Work hard, do all the things you got to do, stay out of trouble. Good possibility you get into the pros. I'm okay with that. But now I'm hearing that a lot of coaches in college don't want to do the recruiting part of it because it is dealing with the NIL. But Curry did say last week that most colleges are going to start getting GMs, general managers, that's going to handle that part of the deal. So I'm gonna say this: if you can get a GM to handle the NIL money, okay. So we walking in your house to talk to your son. It's going to be the recruiter, the GM, and the head coach if need be. You're gonna have 3 people sitting in your house. So that means tell your wife to bake a cake or a pie, or cook dinner for us because we're gonna be there for a long time trying to recruit your son to come to my college and play football. If you do it that way, you can lose out. But if your head coach don't want to recruit, if your head coach don't want to come and talk to a player, then he's not gonna go there because he wants to be wanted.
Well, you don't have to do that anymore. The head coaches don't even have to do that anymore. And like you said, now you take a lot of these colleges, they already got GMs in places to handle the finance part of it. You coach, I'll handle the finance part, and we'll look for players. You don't even have to go to these guys' house no more. Now you can just get on Skype, get on FaceTime, and talk to them. And you can, hey, if you really like that player, instead of going to that player's house, you just send your private jet out there. You pick him and his family up, bring them back to your facility, wine and dine them, and show them everything around your facility. Now it's so convenient for the coaches now that they don't have to do that. Some of them don't have to do it, but you take a coach like Mario Cristobal now. He hits the ball running. He hits the ground running every chance he gets. Because he's going somewhere trying to recruit. But they've made it so easy for recruiting now. You don't have to go sit down in somebody's living room now and talk to them anymore because some of your best players might live in some bad areas. You ain't really wanting to go pull up down there, man.
Curry.
Down there with Jackson Avenue, man. Them guys down there, man. They wait on you to get out of the car, leave your car sitting out there.
Now I totally agree with you on that one, and I'm gonna say this: if you're a kid with a single mother and dad ain't around, which is it's sad to say that 9.9 out of 10 chances that's what we're dealing with, then maybe I don't want to go there. But if somebody's parent says I need you to reassure me that my child's gonna be okay in this program that you're about to run, have them play football or basketball, baseball, whatever, I need to look you in the eyes. I need to look you face to face. I need to see that you're sincerely going to take care of my child, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure my child's okay. I know football, I know sports is a big thing for him to do, but I need some reassurance that my child's going to be okay, because there's a lot of things going on college campuses right now.
That might have worked. That might have worked 5 years ago, but it don't need to work now, because I can give you reassurance that I'm gonna take care of your child, because I'll take to put some of these Benjamins right here on your lap right now. That's gonna prove to you that I'm gonna take care of your child. Your child getting ready to be a millionaire because he comes to my program.
Right now, and I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree. If like I said, if you got a single parent family, got a single mom who's struggling, then she gonna be like, yeah, okay, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But then you do have some parents. You do have some parents that got a mom and a dad, or you got some parents that got that's being raised by the uncle, the aunt, or the grand. Don't have Big Mama be your grandma, right? Because Big Mama's like, look, I need you come to my house right now. I'm gonna sit and cook you a full course meal dinner, and you're gonna tell me that my grandson's gonna be okay at your program. It's simple as that. Don't let Big Mama be the one that got to make the decision. If you got, and I'm not.
I just think it just made it too easy.
And they did.
You can't just be going to these people's houses anymore like you used to.
They did.
Back in the day, man. You just can't do it, man. You come out there, your car be sitting on blocks, man.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. But and if anybody doesn't know exactly what we're talking about, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Boys in the Hood. When USC came there to recruit Ice Cube's brother, he rolled the window down. They about to put some bullets into his car, and he said, "Is this where Ricky Stubbs live?" And Ricky said, "Yeah." They said, "Yeah, okay. I'm USA recruit. I'm coming to recruit him." Okay, go ahead and park your car right here. And they got out and said, "Yo, your car gonna be safe. Don't worry about nothing." That's what Curry's talking about happening.
Yeah, but I mean that can happen in real life.
Exactly.
You take these guys, you just can't go to anybody's house anymore, and you don't know what's going on there. But you're better off if you bring the family in, whether she's a single mom or if she's got a mom and dad, bring them into your facility. This is what we have to offer you. This is our facility. This is how we treat our players at lunchtime. This is the meals that we give them every day. This is how we prepare. This is our, and bottom line, hey, we fixed to sign him for like $2 million. And that mom and dad, look at Cooper, not Cooper. What's that boy? Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag.
Yeah, the mom and dad. You think they didn't chase that money going to do?
Oh, they definitely did. They definitely did. Anybody got anything else for college football before we move on? Okay. NFL injury. This NFL injury reserve list has 281 names on it right now. If you watch the Washington Commanders game, that was the ugliest injury I've seen. That right there ranks right there with Scatterboo's injury, where ranks with Gordon Hayward's injury, that ranks right up there with Joe Theismann injury. If you saw Joe Theismann injury, all of them was injuries where you felt like they would never. Joe Theismann was the only one that could not come back and play professional at the professional level that he played at. Everybody else has played at that. Well, Hayward has came back and played. Scottaboo, we don't know about. Daniels, what was he thinking about having Daniels that in the game that he the season's over with for Washington right now. It's over. It's over. You're losing like that. Why do you still have him in the game? Right? Do you have him in the game because of betting? Do you have him in the game because of fantasy football? Because I have him on my fantasy football team, but I had him sitting out. I had no, I did. No, yeah, he was supposed to have been out, but he ended up playing. So I don't know. I can't remember who I had for fantasy football, but in the league that I'm in with Rich, I'm 7-0. I just want to let y'all know that I'm running things there. It's my house. I built the house. It's my house. But anyway, you got 281 guys that are on IR, and they said this is the most they had on IR this early in the season since what 4 or 5 years ago. But the commissioner wants to make it a 20-game schedule. Are you going to add more players to the roster? Because if you don't add more players, then you're going to get guys off the streets. And what happens when you get a right tackle or left tackle off the streets? You put your quarterback in jeopardy. Your franchise quarterback gets hurt because your right tackle, left tackle are guys that will be on a practice squad blocking for him, and he gets hurt. Is it worth it? Kid, is it worth it to have this situation happen? It's too many players getting hurt. I think Rich, you just lost a rookie. It was a defensive end rookie that you lost over the weekend for ACL.
Oh yeah, we lost Michael Williams. He was a defensive tackle.
Right, he's a rookie, right?
Oh yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah. So, but he was playing. He was playing though. So now they lose him. I mean, how many people can San Francisco 49ers lose before it starts showing on the football field? Even though
it's already showing.
Even though y'all play the Giants, and I'm telling you, this is the weirdest thing, right? So I watched the Steelers game for the whole game. I watched them because I wanted to see how the coach is going to react to this, right? But when I go watch San Francisco game and the Giants, I didn't know what the score was, and I didn't look at the score for the simple fact I wanted to see how well the Giants play. Giants were never really in the game, but you would have never knew about watching them. If you looked at the score, you'd be like, wow, why they're playing so hard. And this is why I think that Debo will probably stay there. And I know that the Giants right now. Who said he's gonna get fired?
I did, Rich.
Nah, I don't think he's gonna get fired, man. I'm telling you.
I totally agree with you, Rich.
I don't think. I don't think.
And the reason I agree with you
is
because they're already talking about flying airplanes around the stadium to let them show fan support that they want him out. So and you start. Hey, that happened down there in Miami, and it was happening at the game that we were at when we were sitting the Jets. They said a plane flying around the stadium saying they want a new GM, a new head coach, and all that. Yeah, Dayball's gone, man. He's fired.
I won't believe it until it happens. I'm gonna be honest with you because there.
You see to keep it.
Well, now listen to what I'm going to say to you. So, because Dart is going to be the starter, Dart's going to be the quarterback for the rest of the season. They're looking to trade to get players in.
Don't tell me you got to start a new offensive coordinator.
No. What I'm saying is that they're looking to buy right now. Even though they're 2-6, they're looking to buy because they don't want him to digress as a starting quarterback. They want to give him some quality players. Because look, you lost your starting running back, you lost your starting wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? So now offensively, he really has no weapons at all that can help them compete. So now they're looking to trade for running back. They're looking to trade for a wide receiver. If they get a good wide receiver, a good running back that can help then that helps the development of Jackson Dart. But I think I'm not saying they're losing players because of injuries. They're not losing because of how bad the coaches is. Because this team, I'm telling you, when I watched the game yesterday.
Well, check this out.
Yes.
They didn't lose that Denver game because of injuries. They lost that Denver game because of mismanagement. The coach, instead of him throwing the ball, all he had to do is run the ball. Denver has no timeout. Just run the ball. That's all you have to do. It's common sense. The game don't change. And that game right there is probably going to be the one that gets him fired.
Titans just sent a defensive end to the Baltimore Ravens. Titans is sellers. Baltimore's buyers. And I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But what I'm saying to you, and I talked to a Giant fan. I was like, yo, what do you think about the Giants? He said, man, we losing. He said, but man, it's fun watching them play. He said, because they're playing with so much energy because of Dart, Jackson Dart. He said, I've never seen that. He said, I've never seen a team that's 2-6. I watch and enjoy playing. I said, my team's 2-6. I said, and every play I'm looking at, I'm like, what are we doing here? I said, the Browns I'm confused with the Browns.
Well, God bless him if he enjoyed watching that crap show.
But the thing about it is though, is that even though they're 2-6, they're not. You again, if you watch, like I said, when I turned to the game, I didn't know what the score was. I thought the score was closer than what it was until I finally saw the score. I'm like, yo, they losing by 10 points, but you would never know it because they were still playing hard. I mean,
do you think they brought Daboll in Daboll in there to be 2-6?
Say that again.
Fired. Do you think they hired him to come in there and say we're gonna be okay with you being 2-6? We think y'all fun to watch.
No. But what I'm saying to you is that now, if you get rid of the whole coaching staff, right? Now Dart has to learn a different type of offense over again. So he's comfortable in the offense that he's running right now. Now, if you want to sit here and say, okay, we're going to get rid of Daboll, but we're keeping the offensive coordinator, then I'm okay with that. Because I think as a head coach, you should be the head coach.
Didn't they fire the general manager too? Yeah. Okay, let the general manager bring his own coach, and then that coach put his own assistant coaches in place.
And I'm not.
Daboll and that offensive coordinator are fired.
Man,
yeah, they're gone, Kev.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Out of here.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I gotta see it before I believe it. That's all I got to say. Because I'm gonna say this.
He'll be the first one off.
So I'm gonna say
the first one.
I'm gonna say this. If they do fire him, they should have got rid of him at the beginning of the season. Because I'm gonna tell you why.
Monday is always the day that everybody gets fired.
But this is why I'm gonna tell you why they should have got rid of him at the beginning of the season. If you thought that Jackson Dart was gonna be your future, you bring in a GM and a head coach that's gonna be able to teach him what they need to teach him from the beginning. And we've seen how you got rookie quarterbacks that come in the league and you fire the offensive coordinator or you fire the head coach, you bring somebody else in. Now they got to learn something all over again. Again, the whole thing about being a quarterback is you don't have to think, right? If you know it, then you have to think about it. When they call a play, you gotta say, okay, who's my first? I need to throw. Who would I look at first? Who's my first route? What's my second route? What's my third route? If you change the terminology, okay. But if you still had the same terminology, then you don't have to think about it. You already know. Okay, this is gonna be my first option. This is gonna be my second option. It's the whole thing about it is you have to think at that point in time. Now you fired. Let's say you fired Daboll.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I'm a professional network engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to school and I got the certifications and everything I need to make me a professional. I've had 4 jobs in my career. 4 4 bosses in my career, and each of those bosses have different things. But being a network engineer is being a network engineer is being a network engineer. And so I'm thinking that he is a professional quarterback. He's going to have to deal with coaching changes and things of this nature. All he has to do is do his job as a professional quarterback. I don't care about the loyalty or about the playbook or how many different OCs is coming in. You are a professional quarterback. If I decide as the owner that I'm going to change the coaching staff, then guess what? The coaching staff is changing, and it's about to change because Dabo and that dude that they got as the offensive coordinator, everybody, they firing the whole lot. They gone. They gone, Kev.
I like I said, I get your analogies about that. But what I'm saying to you is this right here. If you look at quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks that come in NFL, every time you have a change of offensive coordinator or head coach, they don't do well. They don't succeed well. And the thing about it is like I'm gonna give you like the kid in Chicago.
Guess what they're not doing now?
What they're not doing?
Succeeding.
They won yesterday.
Dude, the Giants did not.
No, I'm talking about Chicago. Williams.
Chicago.
They won yesterday. But what I'm saying to you is right here is that what I'm saying to you is this right here is that the biggest issue with K. Williams, Ben Johnson said, was his footwork. We need to work on your footwork. Okay. We need for you to stop thinking and you know where to go with the football. That was his issue, right? So now that he knows where to go with the ball,
rookie?
Huh?
Ain't this Caleb Williams' second coach?
Yes, the second coach. Right, but this is the thing though, right? At the beginning of the season, he wasn't doing that. He was still if you listen to Ben Johnson said he's thinking. I mean he's thinking. He doesn't know. He's saying I got to get him to understand you know where to throw the ball. When I call a play, right? When I call a play, you already know where the ball's going. You're not at the line of scrimmage thinking about where I got to throw the ball. That's how he's progressed. He's progressed because of Ben Johnson, right? That's all I'm saying.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Just real quick. Kyle Shanahan said that during games, Brock Purdy was not throwing the ball to the people that the play was designed for. Brock Purdy will go out there and just throw the ball to the person that was open. Like, whether the play was drawn up for Debo or Ayuk or Kittle or whoever, he's throwing it to the guy that is open. That's the quarterback's job.
But I get what you're saying, but you know what though? He's not sitting there thinking about it. He already knows. Brock Purdy already knows.
He was a rookie, Cass.
But he already knew. He didn't
about from his rookie year.
He didn't have to think about it though. He didn't have to think. He didn't have to think about it. But now hold up. But then you got to look at what he had. Okay, you got an all-pro tight end. You had 2 probably all-pro wide receivers, and you got an all-pro running back. So it ain't hard for you to find somebody that's wide open when you don't have that much. We don't have that type of talent. When you don't have that type of talent around you, and you gotta make things work. Like for example, like Jackson Dart against yesterday, he made things. He created most of the offense by his feet, by moving around, creating openings for guys. Even though the game really wasn't that close. Like I said, until I looked at the score, I'm looking at the score. I'm like, yo, this game, he's playing like they're 3 points away. But when they were scored, then San Francisco was scored.
Why? Because that's the job.
But again,
that's the job. Like that is the quarterback's job to create when there's nothing. The canvas is blank. It's his job to create, whether it's with his legs, his arm, whatever. He touches the ball every single offensive down. It is his job. It doesn't matter who's on the sidelines calling that play. Jackson Dart got to do what he got to do once he snaps that ball.
I don't disagree with that, right? But then, to me, Jackson Dart's younger. So, like, do you remember the hit he took right down by the? I think it was right down by the goal line. He took a hard hit, and I was like, "Ooh!" And he got up and got back in. Now, if that had been an older quarterback, oh, he probably been sidelined because he can use his feet to create more things than not. But again, I'm just saying this right here. When you change offensive coordinators, right, and with a rookie quarterback, and the terminology is different from what he learned, because you got to learn what he's telling you. He's not going to learn what you're doing. He's going to take some plays that you like, and he'll bring them back in. He said, okay, I'm bringing this play in, but this is the terminology of this play, right? So now he has to remember that. Where if you already know
The
it,
coach has to remember that.
what I'm saying, there may be a play that Jackson Dart likes right now, and the next coach comes in, he said, yo, can we keep this play?
You can have that same play.
No, I'm saying, can you keep the same play in here? He said, well, we can keep the same play, but the terminology is going to be different because I'm not changing my terminology because you like that play.
What's the terminology? You're gonna have to define terminology for me, because if the play is still the same, I mean, what makes? And I'm not trying to be funny, but what is the defined terminology, if you will, for me? Because if the play is the same, what's the difference in terminology?
The terminology is that if
it's called a different way.
Yes, it's called a different play. It's called a different way. Like they may say,
but the play is still the same.
The plays may still be the same, but the play could be the same, but the terminology that the offensive coordinator sends to the quarterback is different, right? So now he has to think. Not that now he don't know. He has to think. Okay, that's the terminology. I understand what you're saying. Now I got to think about it. Where if you know it, because you've already repeated it again. Now he can come back and say, okay, we're gonna run that same play and we're gonna name it bingo, whatever. If you call it bingo, we're gonna call it bingo. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But but the rest of the plays, the rest of the offensive plays we run, we're not gonna be naming, we're not gonna give them the names that you already know, because it's just not benefiting, it's not gonna benefit our team. So I think
that's why you have OTAs. That's why you have the mini camps.
I don't disagree with you on that at all.
Camp. You're going through all of that stuff now. You learn that stuff, and if you don't know it all, how many times you see they call a play and the quarterback walk to the huddle and he look at this wristband and he got it right there on his wristband. So the terminology gonna change, but that play is not gonna change.
No,
all we gotta do is lift that little wristband up.
Right.
All that play.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is this right here. Like, who would I listen to? Oh my God, was it Ryan Clark? I think it was. He had talked about Ben Roethlisberger. He said they asked him why did he make? He said, why did everything come so easy to Ben Roethlisberger? He said, well, first of all, he said Ben basically called his own plays. He said, I'm gonna be honest with you. He said,
right.
He said, but the thing about it is that when he did that, they would go back and sit down, and him and the offensive coordinator like, oh, wait a minute, let's not call this play again, or let's not. I can't remember how he came up with the scenario with Ben Roethlisberger. He said, but the whole thing was that he said that Ben, Mo was on the line with.
Basically saying that the quarterback and offensive coordinator is on the same page.
He came.
That's what it takes from any.
He took like
those two working together.
And Ben took like 14 plays from college and brought him into Pittsburgh with him and said, these are the plays I liked in college. Can we implement these plays in the pros? And so they tweaked it here, tweaked it there. He said, and that's what made him a better quarterback. But then again, if you think about it, even though they changed offensive coordinators, Ben still did what Ben did. He still threw the ball. Right, but when you get a rookie quarterback in, and you change everything that he's been doing, and rightfully so, the Giants, they probably could fire the quarterback, you know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, I think if they were to keep the offensive coordinator, that helps Jackson Dart tremendously because now he don't have to relearn anything over again because he knows everything. Now you can have a head coach come in and say, okay, you're gonna be the quarterback coach, but I'm gonna be the head coach.
You know the hardest part for Ben Roethlisberger when they switched? Like he wasn't as successful under Tom Canada.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, he didn't really
no,
like
they didn't get along.
It's harder for a veteran. Like let's say Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid retires, and Pat Mahomes gets a new head coach that's not on the staff. They hire a new head coach. You know, that wasn't on the staff. It's going to be harder for Pat Mahomes to adjust to that new offense than it will be for Jackson Dart to adjust to a new coach next year because he only had one coach before. It's hard for the guy that's got 11 years of experience under this one particular offense, and now you're changing it on me because the players change and they want to get more dynamic. It's hard for Pat Mahomes at that point.
I would agree with that, but I think with Patrick Mahomes is like whoever the coach is, he's like, okay, give me some plays that you like, and let's see which ones we can keep.
Absolutely.
And let's see I'm gonna give you another prime example. Matt Stafford, right?
Mm-hmm.
He leaves Detroit, comes to LA, first year wins the Super Bowl, right? Sean McVay's like, yo, this guy is real. He understands the game of football better than any other quarterback. And the reason why they got rid of Goff is because Goff threw an interception in the playoffs to Seattle. And I'm like, yo, is he colorblind or what? Because blue don't look nothing like green, right? And the next year because they tried to get Aaron Rodgers, and Packers said no, and so they went to Detroit. Like, okay, can we trade Stafford and whatever the case may be? And now Stafford right now is probably he should be in MVP consideration. His name should be in MVP. But that goes to show you because we're talking about a veteran here, right? We're talking about a veteran. But again,
right.
when you go with a younger quarterback, and I'm gonna give you another example. You get the kid in Arizona. Look how many offensive coordinators and coaches. Look how many offensive coordinators and head coaches he's had. And think about the year they was 7-0 or 8-0, and things went haywire. And then come to find out that he's not even reading the playbook. He's playing PlayStation, and how he's getting his plays. You know what I'm saying? But look at the offensive coordinator. Look at the offensive coordinator they had. Look how many offensive coordinators he had. I think he's a good quarterback, right?
I mean,
but he's never had.
Look at Alex Smith. He had 7.
But you know what though? Alex Smith was smart. He was a smart quarterback. He just didn't.
That's what you need. Josh Allen's had 3. Lamar Jackson's had 3 offensive coordinators. Patrick Mahomes, who you just mentioned, has had 2 offensive coordinators. So I mean, it's just the nature of the game. You can't expect to keep lousy coaches around because you think the quarterback is going to fail.
No, I'm not saying.
You bringing in people that you think is going to uplift your quarterback. You don't want somebody there to be satisfied with just because your quarterback is you're scared to make a change because you don't think your quarterback's going to improve.
I'm not saying that they can't make a change. But what I'm saying though is when you got him playing, I'm just thinking about who's gonna be the rookie of the year right now. Who's the leading candidate? I have no idea right now.
I don't either, but if your quarterback's not one of the smartest guys on your team, then you probably made a bad choice to draft him again.
And I think Jackson Dart was a steal for the Giants. You saw what he could
Absolutely.
do.
I think he can adjust to a new offensive coordinator.
I'm not saying
like he's been playing
I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't. But only thing I'm saying is that there's going to be a learning curve when it comes to the terminology of learning plays that they feel that better suit you than not. Because there could be a play he loves. He's like, yo, we'll never run that play again because when we run that play, your backside is wide open. And he can say, well, my backside might be open, but if the tight end does what he does, then the ball's out of my hands in less than 2 seconds. So now we're sitting here debating on should we keep this play in or not. So I'm not saying
the guy from Tennessee,
Ward.
Jim Ward's going to get a new offensive coordinator, and I guarantee he's probably looking forward to having a new offensive coordinator. But the one he had was garbage.
But the thing about it is they should have fired that. They should have fired.
Jackson Dart's probably looking forward to having a new offensive coordinator.
They should have fired that guy in Tennessee before this year. Before this year, you should have fired him, because you think about. Let's look at Jay Fields in Chicago. How many offensive coordinators he had? And at one point he was doing good.
Yeah.
He was doing good.
That's not a good example.
But he was doing good at one point in time. And then when they should have got rid of Eberflus, they didn't do it. And then you see what Eberflus did with Williams, and they got rid of him, right? So they should have fired. He was 1 year too late of being fired, because now, because you got Ben Johnson there, he's looking good. But it's an easy transformance, because Ben Johnson is an offensive coordinator. Eberflus, I don't know if he was a defensive coordinator or not. But again,
well, let me ask you this, Kevin.
Yes.
Is this Ben Johnson's first year there with Williams?
Yes, it is. But what he said about
so he got a new offensive coordinator, and he's doing okay.
But what he said was the issue with Williams was
don't be moving.
No. I said this earlier. What Ben Johnson said at the beginning of the season was Caleb Williams' problem was his footwork, throwing off the wrong foot, right? Not taking the steps that need to be taken foot-wise to get yourself out of the situation to throw the ball. Now he's doing that. Now he's using his legs to be open. Now he's using his legs to create things.
The same terminology?
Say what? I didn't hear you.
Did you think they have the same terminology?
No, I think Ben Johnson came in with something completely different, because he's
picked it up right away. That's what I'm saying. If your quarterback is not one of the smartest people on your team, you probably made a bad choice to begin with.
What I'm trying to get y'all to understand is I'm not saying that they're not picking up on the terminology, but what I'm saying to you is it's a process of knowing and thinking, right? If you know it, you can run play one. Don't even look at the pad that's on your arm. You can run play one. He calls it out, right? He already knows it because he's used it before, right? But you say call play 5, he open up his wristwatch and say, okay, run blah 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 blah. Now, to me, he knows the play, but he got to think about where the ball has to go, because it's not embedded in his thought process as far as him knowing what Ben Johnson wants. You know what I'm saying? Because he shouldn't be starting. He might know.
Bench learning.
No,
because again, I go back to you had OTAs, mini camps, mandatory camps, preseason, the training camps, and all that stuff. You, by the time week 1 started, if you my starter, I know you my starter. There ain't no guesswork. Well, he not be ready yet. No, if he's not ready, just like they didn't think he was ready in week 1, that's why they put Russell Wilson in there. And Russell Wilson basically crashed and burned, so they ain't had no choice but to put Dart out there.
But what I'm saying though, I'm not saying he's not smart enough, but there's a part of the process of thinking and knowing, right? Let me ask you a question right now. In the NFL, how many quarterbacks you think can run a 2-minute offense out without an offensive coordinator calling the play?
Well, I mean, it's not designed to be that way anymore, so I don't know. I can't really say. I don't think that you take it. That's kind of like what you mentioned about the. I'm gonna use that as an analogy. The college head coach having to deal with the NIL. You take that away from him, so you make his plate smaller where he can deal with what's more important. And the same thing with the pro quarterback. You take that from him. So I'm calling the plays, and all you got to do is focus on putting the ball where we tell you to put it.
Okay.
Because if he got to go out there and he got to call a play and then get up to the line and read the defense and then what? Just call.
Okay, so I was listening to the Ryan Clark, and he said that Ben Roethlisberger would go to the line of scrimmage with 4 plays. Depending on the defense, what play they would run, right? So everybody didn't know 4 plays. So again, to me, if I were to look at every division and look at the quarterback, Drake May, I don't think could do a 2-minute offense without nobody helping him. Oh boy, in Buffalo definitely could do it. Tua couldn't do it. Jets quarterback couldn't do it. Aaron Rodgers could do it.
I don't think you got a quarterback can do it. I mean, I just don't think that that's something they have to worry about doing. I mean, back in the days, back when Dan Marino was the quarterback, he didn't call all the plays. He only called 1 play, and that was 3rd down. That's the only down that he was allowed to call the play. Otherwise, the coordinator called the plays for him. Now, he could call 3rd down because they wanted him to, to move the ball quickly.
So you don't think no, but see that this is my whole thing of when I'm going back to knowing and thinking.
No, I don't think no quarterback could do it right now.
I think Aaron Rodgers could run a 2-minute offense out, nobody tell him how to do it.
He probably thinks he could, but I don't think he can.
I think Patrick Mahomes could do it.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes can run the play that you tell him to run. I don't think he can catch the feel of the flow of the game like the head coach can see the flow of the game and how the game is going, and he knows how to make in-game adjustments. Where I don't think Patrick Mahomes can do that. I just don't really think he can. I think Patrick Mahomes can run the play that you tell him to run. I think he can run. I think he could run too, and I think Matt Stafford could run a 2-minute offense without nobody telling him what to do. Because I think he might could run the 2-minute offense, but I thought you meant calling the whole game. No. I'm talking about a 2-minute offense. How many quarterbacks do you think? I think there's like 4 or 5 in the NFL right now that can run a 2-minute offense without even have to look over the offensive coordinator. I think Allen. I think Josh Allen could be 1. Aaron Rodgers could be 2. I don't think so. Patrick Mahomes could be 4. See what messes me up with that is like if you're in a 2-minute offense, the flow of the game is moving quickly. You don't see the personnel changes that the defense is making all the time, where the offense coordinator or whoever's calling that play, he sees them guys coming in and out. Say, oh, okay, he's out of the game, so let's go to this side of the field. The quarterback, he's just trying to run up and get to the snap the ball again, and make sure he get everybody in position. That's a tough task to ask for a quarterback. Yeah, I don't think that a quarterback could call a 2-minute offense by itself. Right now, I think as long as they're moving the ball, then I think that he could call some plays because they're moving. But the moment that they have a setback, I don't think that quarterback can call the very next play after that. So you saying okay? So let me ask you a question. So let's say that you get a false start is 1st and 15. You don't think the quarterback can call a play without an offensive coordinator telling him what to do? No. I gotta disagree. No, I don't think they can because that is when substitutions happen. In a hurry up, absolutely he can call the play. But in a 2-minute offense, that's not necessarily hurry up. That's just a 2-minute offense. Right.
if there's a penalty or if there's anywhere the clock stops and they're allowed to make changes on their defense, then I think that the offensive coordinator or the head coach have to play the next play.
Now, now if I don't disagree with you. If you got to bring in players, if you have to bring in players, exchange players, that's a whole different story. But what I'm saying to you is right here, Joe Montana did.
That's what happens when the clock stops.
Joe Montana ran 2-minute offense. Kelly ran a 2-minute offense.
He never called a play.
You know what I'm saying? Who else can I think of that back in the day that ran an offense?
Bill Walsh called all them plays.
Let me see who else was. Who else was? You don't think Joe Montana ran a 2-minute offense without Walsh saying something?
I think he ran the hurry up without Walsh. I don't think he ran the 2-minute offense.
So to me, hurry up and 2-minute offense is the same to me. That's the same to me.
They're not
now, if you got to exchange,
because your 2-minute offense could be where you need to kill the clock as versus hurry the clock up. I mean, slow the clock down. You might want to try to speed the clock up.
Right.
So it could be a difference there.
I think
like you want to get in field goal range, like it's situational football.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm not disagreeing with that as well. I'm not disagreeing with the situational football, right? But I still believe that I want to believe back in the day that Jim Kelly could run the offense without looking over the sideline. I want to believe that Joe Montana was the same way. Those two come to mind more than anybody else, and there's probably more out there that I can't think of right now that could do the same thing because they had the football IQ. I'm not taking nothing away from the quarterbacks today. I think they do have the IQ, but the biggest problem I see now is that
they, if you remember, they ran a lot of hurry up offense, not just in 2 minutes. They ran a lot of hurry up.
Right.
That was part of their game.
Right.
Yeah. But what you're asking the guy, what you're saying that you think the guy can do now, the quarterback can outsmart the defensive coordinator, and I just don't think they can do it.
But what I'm saying to you now, I think the biggest problem we have right now with the quarterbacks in the NFL is that they don't know how to eye off the receiver they want to throw the football to. I think Matt Stafford is great at that. He'll look off and throw somewhere else. He's great at that. I think Patrick Mahomes is great at that. I think Josh Allen's great at that.
And I'll tell you somebody else that's good at that too. You may not believe it, but Tua is one of the best at doing that too. Tua can look you off, and when Tua is on, he's one of the best passers out there. But he can make some boneheaded plays. But when Tua is an accurate quarterback, when he's on, and you give him time to throw that ball, and just like you said, he'll look to the left, and then next thing you know, he's whipping that ball to the right because you're moving that defense.
Right, yeah. But I just think a lot of times watching.
But he ain't running no 2-minute offense.
But watching the quarterbacks now, some of them don't look off for where they throwing the ball. They know they throwing it directly to. They look at
they stare down the receiver.
They stare down the receiver. To me, that was one of Baker Mayfield's biggest faults when he's in Cleveland. He would stare down the wide receiver. He wouldn't look no other way. He wouldn't look to the left. Wouldn't look right. He knew exactly what he was doing. Now he's gotten a whole lot better than that now than what he was before. But again, I just think I'm just saying. I think when you know, but when you have to think about it, then it's some hesitation there. That's all I'm saying. We said 2 hours, but I just want to bring it. I want to bring on another topic, guys, real quick before we go on. I wanted to get into the.
Hey,
go ahead.
Can I throw something at you real quick?
Go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, you'll remember me saying this. You remember about almost a month ago that I said that I would like to, before the Dolphins fired Chris Greer. Do you remember the guy I said I wish they could get?
Yeah, Agnew.
Ray Agnew. Thank you. I didn't hear that from nobody. That was my opinion. And I've been throwing Ray Agnew's name out on this show I've been throwing it out on all the Dolphin Facebook pages, and I've even thrown it out on the Dolphin local radio station that they need to hire Ray Agnew and put him as the GM. And there's a guy that's got a podcast down in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and he listed 5 guys that he thinks should be the replacement for Chris Greer. And the guy that he mentioned was at the top of his list was Ray Agnew. So I know he's listening to our show. So you're stealing our stuff, which is good. We just appreciate you listening to the show.
Exactly.
If you enjoy the show that much, come on and join us at your leisure.
Exactly, because when we talk about, I'll be taking my wife to work. I was like, babe, I said, we just talked about that last night. She's like, no, I said, I'm seriously, we talked about that last night. I said, they be listening to us. I said, I'm telling you right now, they be listening to us. She said, get out of there. I said, babe, I'm telling you.
This guy's name is Nick Roloff.
I said, babe, we be
Nick,
talking about the same stuff
come on, show,
that they be talking about on ESPN. Get up in the morning, they're all talking about the same stuff. I said, but we talking before they do. But again, I just one more topic if you guys got time. I really want to get into the betting thing, but we don't have time for that. But what I wanted to get in was the John Morant situation. I think it's time. I think it's time in Memphis has ran out. And they have a couple places where they think he can go. And I'm gonna say this right here. If he can't go these places because he doesn't know how to be quiet for one. Okay. And sometimes he say things without thinking about what he's saying. And then after he says it, he's like, oh my goodness, why did I say what I said? And I'm just trying to find it now because I got a whole lot of things opening up on my page here. You should see what I have open up. This is bananas. Let me close this here. Didn't get a chance to talk about that. Didn't get a chance to talk about the NBA Super. Nope, not that either. Let me see. We close this out. Didn't get a chance to talk about not this right here. Not this NBA. Is this it right here? I don't know. I wanted
because we do need to talk about them Bulls.
Rich, I wanted to. I was hoping you came on because I wanted to talk about your list. So we're gonna probably have to talk about that next week, if possible. The list that you got out right now. Yeah, the Bulls is playing good basketball right now. I told you it was gonna be good. You like I don't know. I told you they was gonna be good.
I did say that.
Yeah, I told you they was gonna be good. You was like, nah. I can't find it now, but basically, he's let me see if I can find it.
I'm trying to go to Minnesota.
It was New York, Miami. Let me find out where this thing is, because I don't want to get this wrong. I really want this. Because I'm gonna tell you where he needs. I'm gonna tell you where he needs to go.
Portland.
Who said Cleveland? Did somebody say Cleveland?
I said Portland.
Portland.
Just because ain't really nothing going on in Portland.
Oh God, I can't.
If he goes to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a completely segregated city, so there's going to be some drama there.
Oh my goodness, I cannot.
But I'm thinking Minnesota might be where he lands.
Okay, here it is. So this is a different article, I think, than the one I had. So Miami Heat, Phoenix Suns, Toronto Raptors, Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota, he can't go because that him and my man up there, that's not a good fit. Him and Anthony Davis, Ant-Man, no. I think they bump heads because they're both dominant. They're both ball dominant players, and Anthony Edwards
changes everything.
But Anthony Edwards ain't ready for that yet. He's not mature. He's not, to my opinion, he's not mature enough. He's not mature enough to say I'm gonna take a backseat to him. Or John Morant's not gonna say I'm gonna take a backseat to him. I don't think that's a good fit. Toronto.
You don't have to.
Toronto might be okay, right?
They can beat each other.
Phoenix, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but him and Booker again. You send him to teams where your guards are dominant. They ball dominant. To me, Sacramento will be the perfect place for him. Sacramento, don't a lot go on attack Sacramento. Okay.
Are you kidding?
But if you send him
you got Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Both of those dudes play iso ball.
Right, but they're not point guards.
Like Sabonis is one of the top big men in the league, and his game has slowed to practically nothing because these dudes are hogging the ball.
But the thing about it is that
like.
But the thing about it is, but the thing about it is, I'm saying from I'm saying from a mindset for John Morant to understand his value. Who he could have been the face of the NBA. He could have been the face of the NBA. No ifs and buts about it. But the things he did in the past caused him not to be the face, right? And now him talking back to the coach and things of that nature, that's a no-no. If you want to have an issue with the coach, go talk to the coach. Don't put the media in it, because the media is always going to change what you got to say. They're going to add more, or they're going to delete out all the important things you said, right? It's just as simple as that.
Now, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Coach talked junk on him first.
No, no, the coach talked to him, and then the coach said something to him, and then he went to the media and said something to the media. And then the media said it. But my thing is, if you're going to have a conversation with your coach, let that conversation be between y'all two. Y'all can talk junk to each other all y'all want to, but it should never get to me. That's in-house stuff. We should never know about that. We should never know about that.
It's not in-house in Memphis. He was trying to get out of there, Cass.
Oh, I'm not saying, but then this is my thing. Say to him, I want to be traded. Don't tell nobody that, because you can't tell nobody that. Just say, yo, maybe I need to find somewhere else. Because I'm going to say this, Memphis is too hot for him right now. They're looking for him to do something wrong so they can suspend him again. You go to Sacramento, right? Everybody walks the dogs to the park, you know what I'm saying? The sun shines every day. You 3 hours away from anywhere exciting. You know, Sacramento's only thing Sacramento's good for is the capital of California. What are they known for? You know what I'm saying? He goes to the Miami Heat, he's gonna be in trouble in Miami. If he goes to the New York Knicks, the media's gonna chop him up there. He can't afford to go anywhere where he's gonna be the limelight. Go to Sacramento and ball out there. And when your contract up, say, no, it's time for me to go somewhere, because there's a maturity level that he needs to be at in order to get where he needs to get to. To get to where he's ruining his career. And I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm not saying he's right. But sometimes stuff needs to stay in-house. When you let stuff come outside the house, then that's when there are problems. That's when there are problems. And I like John Morant. I think he's a exciting basketball player. I think the stardom that he got being in Memphis have caused him a lot of problems. I think that his family has some issues with him having the problems he's having, but he needs to go somewhere where he can get a fresh start. And he needs to understand that. If he wants to be a Hall of Famer, then he needs to leave Memphis, because he's not going to make it there, because somebody's always going to be after him, or somebody's going to be tugging at his sleeve or doing something to him to make him do something out of character. I'm not saying the same thing can't happen in Sacramento, but again, Sacramento is the capital of California. What else you know about it? You can't. He definitely can't go to Miami. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. You're setting him up for failure there. He goes to New York to set him up for failure. He needs and even maybe Sacramento might not be the place he needs to go, but maybe he needs to go somewhere where they have some more veteran players that can pull him to the side and say, hey, man, listen, you got all this talent, and we can make this talent work for you and work for us at the same time. But maybe you need to humble yourself a little bit. Just humble yourself a little bit to make this work. I'm just saying. You're saying Portland. Portland could be a good place for him too, but Portland's winning right now. They're 4-2. Everybody thought they was gonna be dog meat, but they got a winning record. But Memphis is 3-4, but it's
the best place for him is San Antonio.
If I'm gonna say if Pac was the coach, I would say yes. If Pac was the head coach, I would be 100% down with him going to San Antonio, because he gonna give some life lessons. Life lessons. Now he can go to Miami, and you got Pat Riley down there. But the thing about it is, Pat Riley has rubbed so many guys the wrong way. No free agent wants to go down to Miami no more because of Pat Riley. Pat Riley needs to step aside, let somebody else be the GM, so you can bring talent to Miami. Because right now nobody wants to go to Miami because of him. Because he's had a run-in with LeBron, he's had a run-in with Wade. You know what I'm saying? So they basically telling people, yeah, you don't want to go down.
I think you're forgetting about basketball though.
Well, no. What I'm saying,
like you're naming all these places that are going to feed his psyche and keep him in line, but you also have to remember this man is a professional basketball player. I need a point guard, and just like we can't just worry about the stuff that he got going on the sidelines. We work on that, but we ain't worried about when we ain't working on basketball.
But
like, he is a basketball player.
But that's what I'm saying.
You can't keep saying, well, Sacramento, because what else do you know about it?
But what I'm saying to you,
other than the fact that they got Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, they don't need him.
But what I'm saying though, so you got Zach LaVine, who's a mature. You got DeRozan, who's a very mature basketball player. He's never really complained about. He signed to go to Sacramento, so he wants to be there, right? So
we're basing it. Okay, so we're basing it on the veteran leadership that they have on that team to possibly change him. But that might not work. He might butt heads with them.
And that might be true.
And then what?
That might be true, but then again, that's what I'm saying. And I'm bringing Sacramento in it for the point that not a lot of stuff goes on in Sacramento, and he can concentrate on basketball. But like I said, if Pac was a coach for San Antonio, I would say San Antonio will be a good spot for him too. But they already got a point guard. You know what I'm saying? They already got a two guard.
They do, but Houston would be a good fit. It'd be a rental. He'd be a good fit.
But see now, if you're bringing up Houston, so what is Houston gonna have to give up to get him? But the thing about it is that he's not going to go to a team. I don't think he's going to get traded to a contender team, because now you messed up the chemistry, because now you're talking about the money got to match to whatever you get back and forth, right? So you look at his contract, right? And then you say, okay, well, I got to give up this player. I got to give up that player. Because you know it's going to be, he's not going to be no one-on-one with any team he goes to, because the money has to match. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to give up. You're not going to give up Anthony to get John Morant there. So now you got to throw in two to three players from Minnesota to get John Morant there, who you got two players that play the same position. So how is that going to work? You see what I'm saying?
First of all, the point guard that's in Minnesota is out of here.
So who's going to be the point?
Like, we're sending him. He's first on the list. John Morant's going to run point.
Okay, so let me look at Minnesota.
Who is it? Mike Conley, gone.
Oh no, I'm not getting rid of Mike Conley.
Like, he's first. He's out of there first.
Okay, but I'm
getting rid of.
I see what you.
Them bums on the bench.
I'm seeing.
Make this work.
I'm saying. Well, no, Mike Conley comes off the bench. Deontay DiVincenzo is a starter. Now, shit.
He's out of here.
See, I don't know about that. Now you got to look at
I'm sending DiVincenzo.
Now you're talking about money. Now you got to make the money match.
We're gonna make it match.
But now,
I'm not about to risk it all for John Morant, but if that's what I need.
But the thing about it is, you're gonna make that trade in the middle of the season. Now there's gonna be a transition period of learning each other. And if you're trying to win a championship, you don't.
What they doing right now?
You don't. I think they're 4-2. I think. Let me see. Let me see. We get something. Minnesota.
No, they're getting smoked right now.
Minnesota and
3-4.
Minnesota, and where is this guy at? He's at John Morant's where? At doggone it. Oh, where's he at?
Memphis.
Memphis, yeah. Good God Almighty. Okay, so let me see. John Morant, 3 years, $39 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't make it happen.
$15 million a year.
Okay, so you take him. Okay, you said get rid of DiVincenzo. Let's see.
How much is he making?
He's making 11 for 2. So now you gotta come out now. Now that's 11 to 39. So I gotta come up with $29 more million. They don't even have enough on here. Let's just throw
Who else is on the team?
Josh Daniels, right? That's 36. Let's see if that trade makes sense. John Morant for Josh Daniels and DiVincenzo. Timberwolves used that non-taxable mid-level exception or non-taxable bi-level exception to sign a free agent, and therefore this own tax cannot exceed $6 million at any time during the season. Cut $11 million from the Timberwolves' incoming trade to make this trade accessible. So the thing about it is that now the thing about it is you would probably have to bring in a third team. There would have to be a third team, maybe.
And that's okay.
To bring in, there's a third team that you may have to bring in to adjust that $11 million. But again, you're not gonna make this trade during the season. You're not gonna make the trade during the season because now you have to readjust your whole team around. Because now if Minnesota gets one player, okay, so John Morant's averaging what 20-some points a game. Let's see. What John Morant's averaging right now? He's averaging 20. He's averaging 20.8.
He might be like 18.
He's at 20.8. Okay. So let's look at Minnesota. Roster. DiVincenzo. They're 3-3 right now. He's averaging 13 points. Okay. And then you want to add on. We wanted to add on another player.
Now, John doesn't have the defense that DiVincenzo has.
Let's see here, roster. Let me see.
You don't have that.
Who did I say? Anthony. Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, and he's averaging 18 points a game. So that's 31. That's 31 points right there that you're giving up, and you're getting 20 back. What's a player you just mentioned that don't play defense? Now you giving up DiVincenzo that plays defense, average 13 points a game, right? And his average is almost like I think it was like right around 7-8 rebounds a game to John Morant. But you got to come up with $11 million from somewhere else. $11 million. You got to come up with $11 million somewhere else to make this thing work. So that means you got to pull in a third team, right? So if you're going to make this trade, you make the trade at the beginning of the year, not right now. But again, I think that's why I'm saying I don't know if he can go to a team that's supposed to be winning, or should be winning. I mean, Minnesota is. I mean, it's early. They're 3-3. The whole NBA is still young right now. Only team I'm really impressed with is the Bulls, for real. Sixers, I think they're playing over their head right now until deep in the season. To Embiid he eats a lion or something, he'll probably be sitting down. So that's why I'm saying I think if he goes, because he needs to go somewhere where he can mentally get himself together, mentally off the field, off the court, and on the court. And that's why I don't know if him going somewhere else where he has to play to a level for them to win, because Sacramento ain't going nowhere. And if he got 3 years left on the contract, and if push comes to shove, I mean, they're not gonna do a buyout for him either. But I just think that John Morant is just, he reminds me of he reminds me of a new age Allen Iverson. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah.
His entourage, all the stuff that he got himself into, you know what I'm saying? And now he finally came out and said he stopped drinking, which is good. But look, he
But
left.
they made AI a villain.
But look, AI was on the court, giving up everything for the team. You know what I'm saying? But his life off the court was kind of questionable. You know what I'm saying? If you go back and look
Why?
him up, how he ended up going to college because of John Thompson. Because if I'm not mistaken, he had gotten into a fight and was in jail. Right, hit a girl in the head they was at a bowling alley fighting. I think he threw a chair and hit a girl in the head or something of that nature. You know, John Thompson got him to Georgetown. You know what I'm saying? And he'll tell you if it weren't for John Thompson, he owes everything to John Thompson. But I think what happened was Allen Iverson couldn't get rid of the posse that he was hanging around with and things of that nature. He felt like he owed it.
Didn't get him in.
He felt like that owed him.
They didn't get him in trouble in the NBA.
No, he got himself in trouble in the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
How?
I'm not saying he got himself in trouble in the NBA, but that image of him not wanting to comply to the way the NBA was.
With what?
The way the NBA wanted. He the one that came out with the jeans and the braided hair. It's like, oh, accept me who I am. Now I don't have to wear a certain tie to be a player in the NBA. This is what I want to wear. So he kind of combated against the NBA. And I'm not saying that to me that was the problem.
But what are they wearing today, Kev?
They wearing what they want to wear because of Allen Iverson, because of him, right?
Exactly.
So somebody had to carry the cross to bear, right? But then Allen Iverson
made him a villain.
But then Allen Iverson didn't have his relationship with his wife wasn't the greatest. You know what I'm saying? And then when he had to turn himself in, but the thing about it is when you're being paid all that money, you shouldn't have those personal issues in your life because they're setting you up. Reebok did the best thing by putting that money aside for him, because if Reebok would have never put that money aside for Allen Iverson, he'd be broke right now.
Right.
He'd be broke right now. But the thing about it is they paying you all this money that the only thing you need to worry about is basketball. Nothing else should be an issue. In any professional sports, the money that you're getting paid right now is to make sure your kids go to the best schools. Make sure that everybody in your family that you need to take care of it don't need or want for anything. So you ain't at practice picking up I need another meal so I can start this business. Bro, I gave you a meal already. Make it work. Go to college, get an education, do whatever you gotta do to make it work. So that personal issues like that doesn't interfere in them being professional athletes, because they want your mind to be on sports and sports only. Like, for example, when I was in the military, I was stationed over in Iraq. My paycheck was non-taxable, right? And this is a true story. My daughter had braces, right? The thing they put in your mouth, I can't think. It's not a brace. It's something else that helps retainer. So the retainer costs $200, right? So she loses a retainer. I said to my wife, I said, I'll go buy another one. Don't worry about it. I got the money, right? So she loses the second one. I said, oh, go buy it. I got the money. Don't worry about it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had the money to do it at that point in time. Because the last thing I needed on my mind was my daughter not having a retainer, or my wife calling me and telling me about bills, because I had the money to take care of everything. Financially, I wasn't worried about nothing when I was over in Iraq. And so my mindset is on doing my job, right? I commend them on that part financially wise, but like in the pros, that's why they get paid all this money. Like, I still can't understand how in the hell Terry Rozier did what he did when all the money he had. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't understand why Billups did what he did when he had all the money he had. What else in the world could you else need or want that you don't already have?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So when it comes to Allen Iverson, you getting paid all this money. You shouldn't be in the news about domestic violence. You shouldn't be in the news about getting drunk or whatever the case may be. I love Allen Iverson to death. I love him. But during his career, he did some things that he shouldn't have done. Now, again, I think the NFL painted the picture of him being a villain. I think him going to Denver was the biggest mistake he could have ever made. Because they wanted him to come off the bench and he didn't want to come off the bench. But Allen Iverson gave you everything on the court. He left everything on the court. You talk about practice. He's talking about practice. You know what I'm saying? Again, that conversation with Larry Brown should have been in house. It should have never got on TV because now people make fun. He's talking about practice, y'all. Practice, y'all. Y'all see me playing? He's talking about practice. So they got a meme of him doing it. But again, that's something that you keep in house. You should never let it come out of the house. And if you talk to Iverson probably tell you a million things that he should have done that he didn't do. Like when I went to New Orleans for the All-Star game, the one hotel it was 10 black Escalades. The guy at the front door said they all belong to Allen Iverson. I said, who in the hell did he bring down with him? Like 10 Escalades who can carry anywhere from 8 to 9 people, right? I'm like, who did he bring down with him? And I'm like, this is crazy. But I just think that he couldn't get rid of the life he had before that. And I think that's where John Morant is. Now, the thing about it is, I think John Morant wants to be more than what he actually is because John Morant, he had a mother and a father. His family went to church. He went to a private school. He was not a gangster. So where is you getting this gangster mentality from that he showed before? Now, this situation right here is him talking back to the coach or whatever the case may be. And I think he had a say so in who became the next coach for Memphis Grizzlies because he has that say so because he's that good of a player. But I just think that now he needs to go somewhere to humble himself, to understand the game of basketball, what the game of basketball can bring him, not just him right now, but can bring his future family. You want to make it so that you have generational money that 10 generations from now is still living off the money that you got in the bank. That would be my mindset. That's all I think about. That would be my mindset. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not thinking that way, then whatever reason it is what it is. But that's the way I would be thinking. I don't think about right now. I'm and I know he's frustrated. And like you said, he probably wants to leave. He wants to leave Memphis. All thing I do is go in and say, yo, coach, I want to be traded. My time here is I can't do this no more. You know. And it's funny because Marcus Smart just made a comment the other day. He says, I would never have the Celtic pride I had anywhere else other than Boston. He said, I've been to teams. He said, we never argued. We always loved each other. We always played for each other. We never had one bad word to say. He said, now, as brothers, we sit down, we talk about things. He said, but since he left Boston, he said there's been locker rooms that he would never want to go back to again. And he probably was talking about Memphis. Be honest with you, he probably was talking about Memphis. But again, that goes to show you the type of brotherhood you have for certain teams, and certain teams don't have that. And you have to build up to it. And again, I want the best for John Morant because I want him to get his money. You know, I still want my 40 acres and my mule, no matter what they say. But it is what it is. But I just wanted to get that out. I just want to talk about that before we forgot about it at all. And I ain't want to keep you guys on that long, but it was a good conversation. But hopefully, you know, he finds comfort in where he's at. You know, I'll be praying for him that things work out well for him in the future. But if he gets traded, he gets traded. But I don't know. The Pelicans, they're 0-6. They send him to the Pelicans. That's a whole mess down there. We'll talk about that later on with your boy Zion already in street clothes, right? All right, guys, man, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for this time period. Again, guys, pray for Dana and his father, who's in the hospital again. I don't know where Mo was today. Pittsburgh won, so you thought he would definitely came on and bragged about how they dismantled the Colts defensively. They look really, really good, man. Hey, Rich.
He left a message in the chat.
Okay. Hey, Rich. This is the bet. This is the bet next week. If the Rams win, you got to put a profile picture of the Rams. If 49ers win, I put a profile of the 49ers.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Rich,
I don't want to do it.
I'll pay to see that.
Would you say,
hey,
Curry?
Rich, you guys better come on and get Bradley Chubb before somebody get him.
Well,
I know I saw your Phillips just went to the Eagles.
somebody just got traded again.
Yeah, you don't want Phillips. Phillips too soft.
Somebody just got
I
traded.
hope we go get it.
Somebody just came across. Baltimore got
I
somebody.
know. Yeah. They said the Cowboys got somebody too. They just haven't announced it yet. Yeah, that's what Gary said.
I don't know what they're trading for. What they
Yep, that's true.
It closes tomorrow at 4:00, right?
2 o'clock,
Yeah.
I think. Priest Holmes and Trey Hendricks
2 o'clock,
might be on the
yeah.
move. Latest trade rumors.
Yeah, I'd like to see Bradley Chubb go out there. The 49ers, I think that'd be a good fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, him and Keon White would be nice. I like that.
So right now, Tennessee just traded Draymond Jones to Baltimore for a 5th round pick. He's a defensive, he's an edge. Miami just traded Jalen Phillips to Philadelphia for 2026. Baltimore traded Jared Alexander to Philadelphia. Philadelphia's packing up, ready to do something. The Jets traded cornerback Michael Carter to the Eagles. Wow.
Yeah.
That's it for right now.
To the Eagles.
Yeah. The Eagles, they
trying to do it back to back.
they trying to get all in. They're trying to get all in right now, because they got the Rams favorite to go now. Priest Holmes may end up going to he might end up going to the Giants.
I heard the Jets, Giants.
Yeah, because they trying to get a running back. They're trying to get a running back.
No, they don't need to get nobody.
Giants need to wait till the off season and get their guys. They don't need to do anything right now.
No.
Priest Holmes. Where's Priest Holmes going? I wanted Nick Chubb to go to the Rams, but I don't know.
Priest Holmes.
Yeah, I mean not Priest Holmes, Priest Hall. His name's been mentioned in Trey Hendricks. Brees Hall and Trey Hendricks. Trey Hendricks' name's been brought up now since they say yo. Yeah, we gonna talk about Cincinnati next week, guys. I'm gonna let y'all go.
I'll tell you before you go, you pick up a couple pieces. They could be nice.
Who's that?
Carolina.
Who? Carolina?
Yes. Yeah.
Did
Carolina? Yeah.
Did he have a concussion, or did he get back in the game?
Who?
The quarterback.
No, he played the game yesterday.
Because I thought they said he had a concussion. Okay, maybe I saw that. Yeah, they played a good game yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They balled.
But meanwhile, the North Carolina Tar Heels are up 68. Make that 69-36.
Who are you playing?
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm a Tar Heels fan.
Who are you playing?
Okay, cool. That's good.
Who are you playing?
Hey, Kev, we got 2
Central Arkansas.
Who?
Exactly.
I hear what
who they put on our schedule. That's all I got.
I'm gonna hit you with this, Kevin, like they hit it with me. A win is a win.
Yes, sir. Hey, they just hit our way right
now. When it comes straight to schedule, and you know how they do, you know how they do it in basketball. They look at that thing like that. Oh shucks, they be like, nah, we. Who y'all playing?
But they got a tournament.
But they're gonna look at the way we beat this team, though. They see now if this was a barely win, they might look at it. But this is a beat down right here.
Central Arkansas, come on, guys, y'all need to die.
Yeah, well, hey, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So Oh my goodness. All right, guys, man. Hey, y'all have a good night, man. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It was well appreciated. All right, people. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Everybody that was
See
on the
y'all.
live feed, thank you for being on live feed. Leave some questions. I'll get to them later, or just call the show. The show number is 512-543-4662. Call us on Mondays. All right, you guys have a good night. God bless. Be safe.
Here, make I know.
Sorry about that, guys. Wrong song.
Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show. You have been entertained in the sports world by K. Dix from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart, Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida, G-Dub from Austin, Texas, and Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. Remember, we throw stones and we do live in glass houses. Big time players make big time plays and big time games. Stay ready, be ready. You have been listening to an In the Zone Sports Talk radio production. Remember, you can hear us again on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.